welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A good Tuesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by Sentinel Storage. Happy to be joining you today. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola. Lieutenant Eric will be in for the first hour. Brendan the Intern going to be in for the second hour. The long drink is now open.
All right.
We had another illness that popped up, which caused us this morning to change things up, and that's why
we're the Oilers.
We're the Oilers.
Yeah. Too soon?
So are we calling this the B team? Are you saying you're the B team?
Oh, I'm B. I'm C.
Can I be Corey Perry? What the expletive did you expect?
Dibs on Josh Brown.
Yeah, oh boy.
I want to be Hudson. The guy that gets to go in the box for a little bit.
He outminted Jeff Skinner last night by 3 seconds.
That's insane. Also, there was a time when Victor Arvidsson wanted a pass from him, and he just kept yelling, buddy, buddy, buddy.
Yeah, Dusty was saying that.
Yeah, we were up at the press box, and we were like, did Arvidsson just yell buddy, buddy, buddy to Hudson? Yep.
It's got to be tough, eh?
Yeah, that's welcome to the team.
Hey, bud.
Hey, buddy.
The EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada's storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life's transitions. Canadian storage provider Sentinel.ca. Pick your deal. Limited units. That offer will end today. It includes 50% off 12 weeks. Some units 75% off 8 weeks, and some units 100% off 4 weeks. That's 4 weeks free, if I can do my math correctly.
When are we doing the show Canadian. In the unit?
The email was exchanged, sent to them, and I haven't heard anything since. That'll be a nice summer thing, a mid-July
grilling dogs,
late June. Oh,
okay, bring the hibachi, and just. Yeah. I mean, come on.
My brother has a grill for us to use. He's
a Hamilton
donated
Beach?
It to us. Is it a Weber?
Oh, he's giving it to the station type of thing.
He doesn't leave it at his house.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Mike.
It's
thank you, Mike.
Propane and stuff.
Perfect.
Oh yeah.
Does he use the little bottles?
No, the big one.
A
good size. He used to camp with it.
I need a grill from my place. I know we have
Yes, you do.
Put in a new one at our amenities floor,
The communal.
Yeah,
the communal one.
And I took a look at it when they installed it last year. Like, it looked good.
That's a solo barbecue.
Yeah, it is. But I don't really trust our neighbors.
No.
I mean, you've been to the building.
Yeah. You don't just roll in there and somebody hey,
what's there to trust?
Nothing, because there's our neighbors right, but
trust. It's like you turn up the heat, you burn everything off
to clean,
you scrub it good. Well, that's the heat does a lot of that.
Yeah, I know.
Use an onion actually, an onion or a lemon.
Yeah,
we'll get and then a potato to prepare it for next time grilling.
Is this old German thing?
No. It's a thing. It's a
actually.
You've got a decent spot because you're a floor different
right there.
You could just walk up the stairs.
Yes,
head on out.
You're way up there.
I'm, 15 floors different.
You got to carry
up and down the elevator. I have a barbecue too, and
I want my own.
I'd get it.
It's my
I'll just say that because it's fun.
Now, I don't cook a lot, and I know where all the deals are around
Big Mary Mondays.
Yeah, Big Mary Monday at my old place. I used to live right across from there.
I still think whenever I pass a Browns, I think of you and I
Big
tear
Mary
up.
Monday was great.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a good deal. Yeah.
Well,
they had a good pasta salad. I didn't mind.
They did, and macaroni and cheese. Yep. Actually, I know I'm gonna give them a little bit of love, but I've discovered Wayback Burger. It's right down the street as well.
Okay.
I've wanted to try it. I've never tried it.
Let's go. I do Sundays.
They're good.
They do the classic special. It's like $10. It is fantastic. We'll go.
I love if you need to know a good you've got all the specials.
I just discovered them.
Hour.
Yeah, it's I read. If I'm not sitting at home,
you're a guy on the go.
I'm always walking around.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, I'll pop in here. Oh, okay, on Sundays, this is the spot. If I need a breakfast, go to Fox. Go to it's
Wayback Burger.
Yeah.
And just on Jasper, not too far from Rocky Mountain Ice House.
Yeah, right.
It's
the
other way.
And if you go on a weekend, especially when the farmers market's happening, there's just so much stuff going on.
We're coming up on farmers market season.
Yeah, we'll go, Maddie. I'll text you. I'll be like, let's go have a Sunday.
It'll have to be a Sunday.
You can room for a third.
I would love that.
Most Sundays I am at my folks for dinner, so I have to be a Sunday where I'm not with my folks.
Okay, yeah, that's right. And sometimes I go to my parents on Sundays too, but they have a huge TV. I sit at the park at the Wood. It's great.
You even eat there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're thinking of taking it to the park or something?
You live so close. It's not far.
It's very, very comfortable, and it's just I just enjoy. And they got a huge TV right behind the bar.
That helps.
Yeah, so you catch whatever Sunday baseball or if there's a football game or something. Boom, right there. Shout out
Penner's
to them.
Pancakes does say Tommy's looking leaner. Must be hitting the weights.
Oh,
Penner's Pancakes. I'm working on it. I need to get into trim fit.
I was going to mention that too.
European
You're
physique
looking.
form here for.
Have you been
football
hitting the
season.
weights?
It's that gray shirt. The gray shirt.
The shirt
Shirt's
thinks right
outstanding.
now that you are hitting the weights and you look leaner.
Thank you. Well, Penner's Pancakes has a great eye for this. But yes, I've been trying.
Good for you.
It's not unnoticed.
Thank
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, enough of this.
Well, I see you're working to improve
Hey.
yourself. That should be praised, I would think.
Yes.
Now I'm just gonna get hungry. We're gonna get off the burger
Sorry.
talk for a
I
second.
did bring
apologize.
a tin of oysters. I know you're eyeing it up over there. We can crack that on the table if you,
You
want,
did.
boys. We can,
I think I'm good to
enough
start the
toothpicks
morning.
for all.
I've got some yogurts for later if I need to.
It's not bad. Yeah, you're still on the 1 meal a day thing. Like, hey,
For
like
the
kind
most
of.
part,
Yeah.
It's one.
Really?
Yeah, it's really just one.
It's kind of a
Meal
fast thing.
with some
But it's a big one. Like you kind of
snacks.
do a go like
No, it's
no,
a
just
standard,
a standard
type meal.
Yeah.
I do snack, throw it at stuff like at times, but like I have a yogurt here. I have some peppers I need to eat here.
It'll get you through.
But yeah, I'll just like it's not like I have a dedicated
Like
lunch.
bell
dedicated-
peppers, like a whole, like you just like an apple.
I grilled them on the weekends.
Oh, okay.
Do you
I
dip
thought-
them in like?
I've seasoned them nicely, so I'll just
Seasoned-
warm
Can you
them
just
up.
start
olive
eating
oil.
peppers like an apple? Like
Just-
so, boys.
Well, you could in a way.
Oh, they do it in the Balkans. That's-
I will cut it up and just eat them raw.
yeah, no, it's
but I
fine.
just
Yeah,
don't
but
want-
eating it like an
because-
apple, though.
Yeah,
like
no.
taking a big bite out of a.
I'll do that one hangout just to.
I'd love it.
Just a random hangout. I'll just pick up a
Please
big
do.
pepper.
Please do.
And just take a good bite. Let's get into Hangout Headlines, which is brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club, who, from premier golf facilities to corporate branded products, they're your all-in-one tournament host, proud home to over 180 tournaments every year, including the EST Golf Classic. They're here to help you execute your tournament ideas. Book your tournament today. Visit theranchgolf.com. Today is opening day for the Ranch, 1 o'clock, which means Dusty's tee time is like 1:25 or something.
Yeah.
He's got one of the first tee times of the year.
Oh yeah. They'll announce him teeing off.
Dustin Nielsen.
Dustin Nielsen, EST.
Yes,
I just
I love
realized
when they
that.
do that.
It's great.
I used to get so intimidated, Rick. Like early in my golfing days, I guess. Like I don't know if Maddie, you were the same way, but you go to some courses and I'd be like, oh, I feel so out of place. This is hoity-toity, and really it wasn't. But like you hear
get in
your
your
name
mind,
on the
yeah.
loudspeaker, you're like, oh, that's me. Other people are going to see me going tee up, and they're going to watch me, and I'm going to duff it. Sometimes I would. My brother was like that when he was starting to get into golf. 7, 8 years ago. He would get really upset if there was a backlog. You get pinch points
I'd
at
hate
certain
it.
courses. Yeah, it is frustrating, but you get used to it.
It's not frustrating. It's on nerves.
Yes.
Even though no one cares, even if I don't know them, even if they do like want to mock me, I don't know them. I get nerves.
And that's, I think, a natural instinct. But Paulie would be like, okay, I'm not teeing off on this one.
But it means it matters to you. Like, right?
That's a good point. But now he's over that hump. He just grip it and rip
He's
it,
an old
baby.
pro now.
He's,
He's,
yeah,
I'm still
he's
not.
a
If
hacker
I'm-
like the rest
Yeah.
of us.
if I'm golfing with somebody new I've never golfed with before, I'm nervous.
I get a little bit
And
that
it
way.
takes me about a hole or so to calm the nerves.
Yeah.
Get in there and.
They need a 19th hole at golf courses. They need a practice hole to start the round.
Oh yeah.
Like you get the first hole just to like a nice easy par 4 just to get the swing going, and then your round starts.
Practice
A
lap.
practice hole. I think it would be busy all the time, but I get what you mean by that concept. It makes sense, yeah, because you get that, you flush it out.
Well, like it's like, okay, your tee time's at 1 o'clock.
Mhm.
Your actual tee time is 12:52. You get the practice hole leading into your round.
And you'd have
just
to
get it
have
once.
that as part of your round, yeah.
Yeah, no, and it's like
They give you
you're
8
doing
minutes or
19
whatever.
holes.
Yeah.
But on hole 1 starts actually at number 2.
You can score
the
it if you
first
want.
one is 0.
Now that would be
If you want to take it, you can.
And
If
they
you
just
don't,
make it a nice, simple par 4. Maybe one little bunker, just like to the right of the
little bit of
green or
trouble.
left of the green.
Yeah.
But just a straight hole, so you could just
no
the
mulligans.
swing.
Yeah.
yeah. And then
You just
people
you
might
have
stop
8
the
minutes,
breakfast
go.
ball.
That's right.
There's your whole field breakfast ball.
It's the worst feeling. And you judge, again, it's an instinct. When you are like the next group up and there's someone in front of you and you see them hit it and they have the nerves and they like duff
Mhm.
one and you're just like, it's going to be a long round. But they get over that hump and they're like, okay, forget that's my
perseverance.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get over it and then they have a nice pace and you're just like, oh, whatever.
That's sport.
That is sport.
I mean, it's
The only issue I have on that first hole, I don't mind. All four could take a breakfast ball. You're not taking a second.
Oh, no.
You get
That's
one
fair.
breakfast ball. If there's a lineup, you have to just go and play.
Yeah.
Go to your buddy's ball, play from there or something.
Yeah.
Everyone gets the one. I'm cool. Have
Take a
that extra
penalty.
mulligan. Do it there. But after that, I'm sorry. Like, you can't just keep going until you get a nice shot. If there's a lineup. If there's no one around, then yeah, do what you need to do.
Right.
But some court, like today at the ranch,
Gonna be packed.
gonna be packed.
nice day out too.
Nice day.
A little
windy,
breezy,
though.
but
Dusty's a little worried about the wind, I think.
No,
40K Clausen was saying, I think.
40?
40? Just a little breeze.
Somebody was reporting 60. So if you took the 60, it'd go down to
Environment
the 40.
Canada says gusting 250 this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
What do we
and,
got?
And Clausen also said a chance of some thunder showers.
Okay,
popping up
hold up.
Central.
Really?
province. Yeah, I don't
I'm
mind
going to
that.
go with Environment Canada because we lost the Clausen app. Do you remember Clausen had his own app?
Yes. I mentioned it every morning during the weather update.
You mentioned it after it shut down too. It was great.
Lots of years after it shut down. In memoriam.
Sunny 1 o'clock, 15 kilometer an hour winds. Sunny at 2 o'clock, 15 kilometer an hour wind. 3 o'clock, that's when the wind starts coming. 30 kilometers, gusting to 50.
Oh, so
when
So
he's
he
hitting
gets
the
a
turn.
good 9.
Yeah.
He gets a good 9.
Yeah.
And then you go on the turn.
Then we'll see what he's made of.
Well, at the back few holes, you know,
It's kind of in
15,
that
16, 17,
valley.
18, you've got the trees around you, so he might
Yeah.
not be as... He has to get through like 10 through 14.
But a good stout challenge to kick off the
Yeah.
season. Like, why not? Get into there.
He does. His fade will quickly become a power fade with those gusting winds, unless it's pushing the other way. He is a lefty, and it pushes the other way, and it actually is advantageous to him. But he's going to be rusty as well. So,
Well, and no range time.
oh, no range. Oh, yeah,
Well,
he's got to go really quick.
Yeah,
Two
yeah.
guys,
He's
he's
speeding
heading
out there.
straight
Yeah.
there. He's going to head right to the tee box, basically.
Yeah.
There's no warm-up.
He's tired already.
Yep.
He's had a lot of fun. He was hanging out with Damon Bunting at the game last night.
And Cook County looms on Thursday night
I
as
love
well.
how
He's-
you're putting this in
Well,
his ear.
Wow, Eric was going through the 4 majors for the week.
You have to complete.
And the
you have to
question I
complete
did
it.
ask was, why not?
Dusty's
And
Grand
it's like,
Slam.
You've
why
come so
not?
far.
Yeah.
He's
could
got
cr-
the
it's-
Grand Slam, exactly.
This isn't the
Gotta
career
complete it.
Grand Slam even.
The week Grand Slam.
It's the
It's
week
a
Grand
week?
Slam. This is
how
like...
many people do it in a week? Rory's
fan-
been trying for how long? He can.
And that was the career. He didn't even do it in the calendar year.
No.
That's
Exactly.
right.
This is a chance to do it in the calendar week.
You can't pass it up.
I think you
He
have
has
to
to go
like.
for it.
I think you even just go for like 2 hours.
If he doesn't go, it's the SD for missed opportunity.
Then
of
you
the
could
year.
go to Rosie's after, get a nice karaoke in. But you got to go stop at Cook for a couple of hours.
and all with Bunting.
Why not?
Bunting's taking him?
I think so. That's
Oh, wow.
well
I
since
think
their
we could throw that up
successful
there.
date last night at the hockey game in Campio Pizza and Bar.
Oh, did they go to Campio?
They
too?
sure did. He loved Dusty's first time. It's Tuesday.
Come on,
It's
you got
Tuesday.
nothing to do on
He
Friday.
says it
So
now. He's-
Wednesday is rest.
he's
Wednesday
talking.
you
Exactly.
go home from here.
Exactly.
And you get your sleep.
Get a water
You
massage?
wanna know something? Do you think Rory rested through all these attempts for his career Grand
That's a
Slam?
great point, Matt.
I know.
You don't think they were tired?
Rory, but like, I'm banked right now. I'm going to sleep
You
in my
have
truck.
tired eyes.
I'm just like going downtown. It's stressful on me.
It's the downtown. He
What?
Banked.
What did you
tense.
describe it as?
He's
Yeah.
tensed up.
You have to.
tense, yeah.
You have to have that what attitude downtown? Did you say?
Like I don't know. Like come at me.
Next time, would you like an escort to the game?
Maybe I would.
Matthew,
actually,
Like, would you like me to come see you and be like, I will walk you wherever
Yeah.
you need to
I
go?
have walk from like Campview.
As a downtown resident, I can take you.
I'm physically drained from being downtown.
We know which cart people you don't need to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we gave pizza to a homeless guy.
Yeah, there's a few of them around
Yeah.
there.
Our leftover Campview. And he said to us, he goes, we're like, hey, do you want some pizza, man? He goes, tell me how dangerous. I was just like, what?
Yeah.
What was your answer? How dangerous is dangerous?
Bunty was just like, we're not into riddles right now.
Oh,
Dusty was just speechless.
That's fair.
Yeah,
But, you know,
that happens around there too.
Legacy takes work. Legacy takes a toll on you.
He'll be fine. It's
going.
Tuesday.
If I break 100 today, it'd be weird.
And then you go to Cook to
Then that's
celebrate
Cook.
on Thursday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If
Exactly.
I break 90, I will go to Cook.
You can do it.
Yeah.
I'm holding you to that.
You have.
I'm
we had a
holding him
great
to that.
round
My
there.
best man
Not
ever,
with this
he
wind. He
won.
knows
Yeah.
it's gonna be windy. That's
You played very good that day. Okay, have a nice nap.
sweet dreams.
Do you have a blanket in there? He does. Oh, I love that. He's gonna have a great nap.
Sorry, what is the 4 Grand Slam events? Oilers, golf, Cook County. And on Sunday, he got to watch the Masters while his kids and family went to the zoo.
Zoo, yeah. So he had it all. And it started there.
It's
and
been the week of
cascade through the
Dusty.
week. And a short week.
Yeah,
So
well, that's the
he
thing.
can do it all
He
in a
doesn't
short
have to come to work on Friday.
Exactly. Come on. Why would you pass up that opportunity?
That's
And if we get Bunting on board with that, he can't say no to Damon Bunting now.
That's a good guy to hang with. I'll say that. Yeah.
You know?
we could just even like, and even like Trev could take him because he's worried about being a little too old at Cook.
Yeah, Trev.
You're just there to
yeah.
dance.
Yeah.
Right.
Hat backwards.
One of
Line
those
Are they
dance a
allowed to
little
do
bit.
that there?
little plastic mugs full of rum and Coke.
He loves that.
Or spiced and
Make it a double.
Make it a double.
Make it a double.
Free pour it. I know we're not
Make it a
supposed
triple
to. Make it a triple.
if you could.
Make it
He's a big boy.
Why not? What could go wrong?
nothing.
It's if he gets to
Absolutely
Cook,
nothing.
in the end, you've completed the trip or the Grand Slam.
We don't care
there.
what you do there.
You got
can-
there.
You just get there.
You could be there for 5 minutes.
Sure.
But you got to
You
cook.
got to cook.
And
Exactly.
you completed
Climb
the
the mountain.
week-long Grand Slam.
Exactly.
Climb
There's
the
nothing better than that. Oilers game yesterday. The B team. I'll say
I love that Dano clip.
Dano's
I
not-
love it. It's
I'll say
wrestling, baby.
Dano's
It's-
not wrong.
He's not.
No.
They came out there to try to inflict some pain on the LA Kings.
Sure.
And there was nothing they could do on B team, though. B team was a health factor type thing.
I don't know why it's bulletin board material though
for the Oilers,
Like,
because
but-
they were called the B team.
So what? But that's
That's who you are.
they would probably even was it their A team? No. So whatever.
The LA Kings decided to play an A team against the B team too.
Sure. Well, they were playing for
They
that
know
home.
what
They
was-
locked
they
up
knew
the
what
home
was
ice.
gonna happen. Like,
Now
we
they
all
can
knew
rest.
what was gonna
They have
happen.
2 more left, and now they can kind of take it easy, I guess. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, they can.
Which
That was
opens
there.
things up for the
Rest
Calgary
people up.
Flames right now.
it's interesting tonight.
Yes.
Very
I can't
interesting.
believe they're still
Reeds
alive.
Flames.
And I read something, I don't know if I can find it on Twitter quickly here, but the hockey club has a back-to-back. The second end of the back-to-back is the Blues. They're putting their
let's look
backup
that up.
in the first game so that they're bringing their A game for the game against the St. Louis Blues to try to
Oh boy.
beat the Blues.
Try to be a part of the story. Yeah.
And if the Flames could go beat the Golden Knights, beat the Kings, the Wild also are in this conversation because if the Wild lose to, they've got Anaheim.
Anaheim tonight, and
Like if it goes well for Calgary today, they could all be on them going up against the LA Kings to make the playoffs, which is just wild.
That is
I love it.
insane.
Great theater. And can you imagine the Blues after that run? I mean,
I'd make me actually.
everybody's like, "Oh, I don't want to play the Blues. Don't play the Blues." You may not.
They still missed the playoffs.
That would be the crazy part with that crazy run.
And as Dusty pointed out earlier too, I think they've dropped 3 straight since Holloway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Holloway.
which is,
X factor.
You want to know something? Does that mean most valuable to his team?
well, he said they'll get a hard vote.
That's
Should get a hard vote.
interesting.
Well, people are talking.
It's I've heard it on the radio.
Sure.
You know, it's
about
circulating and all that. One thing that would actually make it fun if the Flames make the playoffs too, though, is that the Canucks are the only Canadian team that would miss playoffs possibly.
Hey, that would be something.
Wouldn't it?
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Like 6 of the 7 Canadian teams make the playoffs this year. It's the Vancouver Canucks that miss.
I feel so bad for their fan base.
Jasmine rolling in her grave.
I know. I know their fan base is just a classy, very appreciative group
Yeah.
of lovely hockey fans.
I really like this. The Colorado Avalanche, 12 minutes ago. Gabriel Landeskog conditioning loan has been terminated, and he will rejoin the Avs today.
Don't be. The wording is kind of.
I know, like,
Come on.
could just be like, yeah, his conditioning loan has ended. He's coming back to the Avs. No, it's terminated.
We have terminated it.
I feel bad for you, Tommy.
Why?
Tomorrow's pre and post.
Oh, yeah. I'm just
Well, you
used to
should-
it.
I think in the end, like, it's just a playoff preview. I don't even think you
much.
talk about the Sharks game at all.
Have a little
going
fun with
into
it.
it after it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a season recap
Yeah.
/ a playoff preview because tomorrow.
Well, and McDavid
is,
getting 100 points. He's sitting on 99.
That's
He's
right.
Is he going?
Maybe.
They got to get him that 100.
Keep the
There are important things here, Matt, and 100 points are at foot here.
The Oilers are on the ice at 11, by the way, for an optional skate.
They're going to have 4 guys on the ice.
Well, it'll be fascinating to see what
2 will be Josh
who
Brown.
they fly with, who they fly with them to San Jose. I don't want to laugh at it, but he was -3 last night.
Well, he
And
had
just
That's a rough
looking
game.
for blood. Hey, like just
he hadn't skated in a month until last week when he rejoined the Condors. So
Where was Derek Ryan last?
they sent him back down. He was loaned to Bakersfield
Back
with Kemp.
home.
Although I saw Kemp in the press box.
Hudson stand out at all? Like, did
No.
you see any sort of
No.
moment or any flicker of nothing?
He
It's
sat
tough,
in that
tough
penalty
situation.
box really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Very good point.
They also like it for a period of time. There's just last night had so many penalties.
He tried to pass
He
back
couldn't
once
get
and it
out
went
there.
nowhere. I think
did.
because he didn't know where the guy would be. Yeah, it's whatever.
That's a tough
It's
situation.
It
You
was just
can't
a
judge.
weird game.
Yeah. You can't judge a guy on that game.
No.
First thing.
Okay. Does Nurse miss game one?
Well, he's having a hearing that was just announced
Yeah.
when we ended the show.
No, I didn't see that.
I don't know if
Thank
it's
you.
in phone or whatever.
That would be phone.
yeah.
Phoner, yeah. I guess I'm thinking he's
It's-
suspended for
You never know
tomorrow.
with the NHL though, hey?
Well, Gage
whenever
was
you
pre-
think one thing, the NHL goes and
Does another.
Well, there's
right?
a few things that play into this, but one, Gager brought up a good point. Like in the regular season, this might be 2 games. Playoffs, it might be 1 game. But you're at that edge.
but we're on
where
the cusp. So
if it's 2 regular season games, that means a playoff game.
and missing the Sharks game,
What?
I mean, okay.
And does the NHL take that into account and go,
Probably.
you want to know something? That game doesn't matter. That's not a punishment. That's actually a reward. We're going to give 2 because we're going to take that away.
It's true, yeah.
We also were talking about in the press box where like that was at the end of the second when it happened. We're like, Byfield's not coming out for the third. If you're the LA Kings, you're going, we don't know.
He's hurt.
And he didn't look on the broadcast. He didn't look bad,
yeah,
given
but
the
they took
fact,
him
and
down
then they took him down the tunnel.
and-
But like he wasn't like
He did have
getting
his
scraped
face,
off or
yeah,
anything.
he did have his face smashed into
Yeah.
the ground. That
but
was,
he didn't
it
look
was
too
dumb.
dazed or anything. It was,
No.
yo,
But
it's a
now
dumb play.
if you're the LA Kings, you're like, we don't know what his status is going to be.
Yeah.
This
Oh
is
no, you got to play it
dated,
up.
like
Yeah,
day-to-day type thing until you find out what happens.
Absolutely.
With the NHL. You try to force the NHL's hand.
Absolutely.
Like, we might not have him for game 1. We're not 100%
and he's been playing
sure.
really well as of late.
He's
right?
been
Like,
playing,
yeah.
and you play that up and see if the NHL then instead and gives Darnell the penalty. I think one thing that helps him is that it was 5 minutes he got in the game.
Yeah.
Like could the NHL look and be like, you've got a punishment. Here's your fine.
They
You
could be.
can't do that.
Now, if the Kings are smart and they really want to play this dark arts game, which I think they seem to be in the mood for, which I don't mind whatsoever,
It's great.
you rule Byfield out for tonight's game in Seattle.
Mhm.
Just rule him out.
Honestly,
Upper body injury.
straight up, we're ruling him out for the rest of the regular season.
Why not? I think they
You-
wrap it up on Thursday.
Even use the words regular season type thing.
Yep.
Like, make it as sound as worse as possible.
Perception, right?
He's day to day. He's ruled out for the
Why
rest of the
not?
regular season.
And the rivalry again between the
If
two.
it was flipped, I'd want the others to do the same thing.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
try to force a suspension.
It's in the
here,
details, yeah.
And this is partly on Darnell. Why did you put yourself in this
And
position?
if the Kings, if this was against, pick another team that maybe doesn't have the heightened rivalry right now, and they'll be facing each other, maybe you don't go that far. But this, given the proximity of these two right now and how they're going to meet up,
this is
absolutely.
about game 1 of
You
that
take
series.
anything, yeah.
If you could know that your opponent doesn't have Matthias Ekholm and Darnell Nurse,
Yeah.
and you're home, you're going to try to take that as best as you can.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's why if you're the LA Kings, you're going to play this up as much as you can with Quinton Byfield. It's just like,
It's just smart.
Darnell, why would you look up, take a pause, and then go do that? Like, even if it was in the moment, like quick reaction,
Yeah.
you could maybe defend that it was just a spur of the moment. But he knew what he was doing in the end. And that's what's going to hurt him with the National Hockey League,
Yeah.
I think.
That the first 2 angles that they showed, there's a sequence that they showed. You're like, oh, yeah, that wasn't too bad. Then they show like
From behind the net?
yeah,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
net cam, behind the net, up above, and you're like, yeah, that was really stupid.
Yeah, he ate the ice.
no, he
like
did.
he,
Just bam.
it was like you at the appetizer buffet.
It was so
I had,
good. But here's the thing. Can I again? I will explain myself at the appetizer
yes,
buffet.
you
'cause
have
this
a
is
chance to
clearly a
defend
thing
yourself.
still.
Yeah.
I briefly was able to explain what happened at the appetizer buffet. I didn't eat anything during the program. The program was great.
Mm-hmm.
The boys did an awesome job. The Ford brothers seemed to play off of Dusty and Reed very
Great
well.
atmosphere in the room.
Yeah, lots of good vibes, the good cause, all that stuff. I thought I missed out on the appetizer because I got there about 6:30. Things started at 6:45. And then I went there and there's a little bit left. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll have a plate. I had the bocconcini and balsamic. I
That was
love that.
great. Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's good
yeah.
stuff. The skewers, they had stacks of them. So I had a few. And then there was the sliders. Don't give me that look.
I'm just
The sliders. There was like mini raviolis. There was pierogies. There was a bunch of some spring rolls, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna eat. And nobody else was going up there.
Yeah,
There was
so you
one or
thought,
two stragglers.
might as
And
well.
I'm like, all right, I'll just have whatever, a little bit of what's left. But they brought more. Like they kept up bringing more rounds out, and then I was done by then. But I at one point was the only guy standing there eating anything because everyone was mingling after the program. And was it you that yelled across at me? Somebody did. I think maybe it was Big Uke.
Wasn't me.
It's most likely Big Uke. It sounds
Big
very
Uke.
Big Uke like.
Yeah, and VR Montenegro, and they're like, "Oh, Tommy, huh? Liking that buffet?" Something to that
When
effect.
you were just
and I
on-
was like, "Yeah, I am. It's very good."
If we had a spotlight, like it was
It
one
was
of those
just me.
moments where the spotlight and you're just
I'm stuffing my
Me?
face.
Yeah.
Like, I am hungry. This is my dinner.
yeah.
It was very good.
And that's why they kept having to bring more out. I think they saw you there and they're like, oh,
Okay.
code
this
red,
guy
code
is
red.
eating.
We planned for this.
Look at that
This is-
average-sized man having some of our buffet.
That very
we need more.
cut fellow over there.
Yeah, he's very. Oh, he's lean and mean.
Big Uke says the visuals of that are hilarious, Tommy.
Yeah, for you.
It was Costanza eating the ice cream at the game.
But I did dip my chip twice, though. Also a Costanza reference, as you know. Now, where would we stand on that? Because I think Costanza had a good point.
With the chip.
The second dip of the chip,
Well, who are you with?
because he's flipped it over, and there's no
I will
contamination.
triple dip eating chips with my wife. Like there's no, we don't.
Yeah, but you guys
But
are
in
married.
a public,
In a public
place.
okay, in this office, we bring it. If you flip,
I would not do that.
no, like you take a bite
Yeah,
and then you go to the other side.
Yeah.
And you dip.
yeah.
I think that's open. That's fair game.
I think
if
that's
it's those
okay.
big triangular, those are huge chips.
Yeah.
You can fan yourself with
Like
one of
the
those. There's enough real estate on there where you could flip it, and it's
not contaminated by your first bite.
There is, I thought I saw an article a few months ago that says there's nothing wrong with double dipping.
like from a
From a
hygienic point or whatever.
It's,
yeah.
yes, it's
Well,
doesn't.
it's-
There's nothing wrong with it.
We've shared. We've done a lot worse.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do other things. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
I gotta see if I can
Well,
find
you
the
pass
article.
around a bottle after somebody birdies on a
a
golf course.
doobie.
Here we go.
It
Does
do-
double
People have done that
dipping
before.
really
I
spread
don't know.
germs? So I don't want to read the whole
I don't
article.
know.
Does double dipping really spread germs?
Yeah.
I'm not going to read it all. There is no definitive science to prove that double dipping is unsafe or harmless
Well, there you go.
from an infectious doctor. So it's not unsafe
believe
or
it.
harmless. So it's
Without
dead
citing
middle.
the source,
Never mind.
I'll take a.
I would have more issue with somebody with just one dip, but somehow getting their fingers into the dip. That is beyond.
sure.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
No, if you either have to get a good first dip, so you fill up that chip, so you could keep going, or I think if it's a big enough chip, you could take a bite, then you grab where you bit it from,
flip
you
it.
dip the
If it's a
other
big enough
side.
chip, yeah.
Then that's where you could be okay at that point. But it also is, who are you with?
Yeah.
You with your spouse or partner? That's whatever.
I'll go back for like fourth dips. Like you could really,
I think
Why
that's
not?
okay.
you could
in
load
that,
up that chip.
in that circumstance.
Caster 1990, he does have a question that Tommy, maybe you could answer this a little bit more.
Okay.
What was the point of burning off a year of Hudson's entry-level contract by playing him in the game? With the Oilers were conceding to the Kings. Why not just use AHL players instead?
Condors were playing last night, I think.
Why sign him and
There were,
burn a year?
there were a few people who were kind of put off by that, but let's be honest, the Oilers don't really know what they got in this guy. Like they obviously scouted him and think that there is potential for him and some upside. He's probably going to play in Bakersfield next year. He'll probably compete, try to push a Savoy and a Thomasek next year. But let's not kid ourselves. He's likely headed to Bakersfield. If he makes the team next year, that's great. But I also have concerns about what the roster is made up of.
Yeah, that'd be.
And I think, with him having to go likely play in Bakersfield next year, I don't think they're too worried about burning up a year. Like it's just kind of, that's how I would perceive it. Like they're not saving him for anything. And, if they like him after next year and they want to extend him, they can give him a better contract. I don't know. I think it's being made out by some to be a bigger deal than it really is.
Well, Aidan O'Neill says, feel like Hudson wouldn't have signed with us if we didn't agree to Bernier. So that might have been an agreement.
It could
Like,
be.
hey, one of the way the Oilers got him was, we'll throw you in a game here. We need somebody anyways.
Yeah.
We'll burn a year, which means you're closer to the end of the contract than if you go sign somewhere else and they don't do this. So maybe that was one of the reasons that they got him. That's actually a very fair point. I could handle that.
Yeah.
I could accept that.
That's good. Yeah.
So.
That's the flip side of it. So I don't know. Some people did make a big deal out of it, or just wondered out loud, which is understandable, but I don't think it's a very big concern from the franchise's point of view.
And you're right to point out that if he does factor in, that's more of a, we have further questions on what the roster is and what, he shouldn't be.
No, he should not be competing
part of the picture.
Yeah, like
nothing against him, but
no,
yeah,
he should be in the AHL next year, essentially, unless he just is an absolute
prove us wrong.
Beast
Yeah.
Or preseason, and
I don't know where they're going to fit all these guys. Every signing they seem to have made the last couple of weeks, it's like, well, there's this guy top six.
Yeah, in Bakersfield. But you're right. People do ask that.
Is Max Jones out of the top 6 yet? Is he still?
They're all top.
Got a firm spot there still.
I don't know where Connor and Lee are going to
He
play.
played his way into that conversation. Yeah, well, don't want to mess with that chemistry, Matt. I agree.
Well, can those guys stay healthy even? Big question marks around 97-29. It's I don't know.
This is it. One thing that is good about these signings, because the Oilers have burned up so many draft picks in trades and stuff like that, you're restocking the shelves. You're going out and finding guys. The cost is relatively low, and you might find a player or two who ends up playing for you. So, or that's okay.
A chip for a trade still.
Or that, yeah. And they traded Warner away in the Frederick deal.
The Jarventi didn't necessarily.
He's going back to Finland.
Yeah, I know.
That's not good. That was
can't win them all.
That's like taking a knee on first down with 5 minutes left on the clock. That's what that one was.
We just can't do this one.
Yeah, that was not great. But
I'll never forget the day he was.
Well,
top 6.
Well, we were all. I mean, it was.
He just How
do you say it, Robbie?
Ross Levitan came on that day because they traded Bourgault for him, and I mean Bourgault was becoming a non-prospect, and Jarventi he got his first look in the NHL last year. Then he ripped up his knee.
Yeah,
there was some promise around him, and just I don't know, man. Like there's a bunch of stuff that's gone on this year where I'm like, what's going on here? What are we doing? But
they are. When it comes to the farm, they are going out to the auction mart instead of letting their own livestock kind of reproduce on the farm. There's none of that in-house. You have to go outside and you have to assemble this from different avenues.
Yeah.
But at least, and people have made a good point. They're actually going for, they're looking at, even that Finnish defenseman. Up there in points.
Yeah. Leppanen.
Yeah.
Arto.
Hudson too, leading the way for these guys are top of their class wherever they are in terms of production. So
Nurse hearing, it's tonight.
Ooh, interesting.
They say they're 7 hearing tonight.
Okay.
I wonder if that is the NHL's waiting to see what happens with Byfield tonight.
Is there a time?
They just say tonight.
Ooh.
Which would lead you to believe after 5 o'clock. And I don't know when the Oilers fly today. They're on the ice at 11. They'd fly sometime after that. So maybe it's a flight thing. But I'm sure you could probably be if the NHL be no, we want to have the call right now. You could find the time to make the call. I don't know if George Peros has a bunch of meetings.
Maybe he's busy. Maybe he's golfing.
Bounce out of. I think this is your job. You kind of have to do this. I wonder if they're trying to see. Maybe they're trying to force LA's hand a little bit here and be is Byfield playing or not?
This is the game within the game here.
I'm wondering if that's what the NHL is doing with that, because otherwise you could just have that hearing now, make an announcement today or tomorrow with it. But if you're waiting to see if Byfield's playing, you have that hearing a little bit later tonight. You have a little bit of better idea of what's going on with the LA Kings, and then you make your determination. If Byfield's back, okay, it's 1 game, you're missing the Sharks. If Byfield's out, maybe they go, okay, 2 games, you're missing the first playoff game or something. The tonight part, I don't ever recall hearing them be tonight we're doing it. Maybe we make it a primetime special.
Put it on Prime.
Put it on Prime. Their season's done.
People are loving that broadcast, hey? Rave review.
People were not happy with them yesterday.
I confess, I find it hilarious.
What part?
I don't like it. Well, just every part. They're and this is the ice. It's water, and then it's frozen. And they're like when they pulled Kemper. Yeah. They're I didn't see, is he hurt or something? I didn't see, something must have happened there. Well, you know why everybody and their dog knows why they're taking him out of the game. And he didn't look, he was in no, like he clearly wasn't exhibiting any signs of discomfort. So clearly, you know what's going on. And they're like, well, I wonder, we'll have to get somebody down there to check out and see what's going on. And he's on the bench, like talking, like it's clearly they're just taking him out of the game so that nothing happens. But they couldn't grasp it. They couldn't figure it out. You know, it's like when a goalie's slamming the stick on the ice. Why is he slamming? He must be mad that the power play didn't do anything.
There was a reporter that did that once.
I know, but
okay.
But it's that type of like hockey 101 that I find.
But these are hockey guys too.
It is hilarious to me.
It's
Last
John
night?
Forsland and
I don't know.
It was weird because Jack was calling the game on radio yesterday. Because I look over at one point, I'm like, Jack's doing the game. Like I don't know the last time he called the game on Chad. It's like he's been doing so many of them.
What does Moonman do for those instances?
He's next to Bob.
Okay, yeah. That's not.
He's over there.
Moonman was in a great mood last night.
Yeah.
Is he ever not in a great mood?
That's a very good
I
point.
can't wait to see him again.
Okay, quickly on the broadcast, because obviously...
Adnan Verk as well does the panel.
I saw it, and I love Adnan.
Yeah.
Some people are wondering if he maybe one day takes over for Ron McLean.
He's a good host.
Because Duthie, I still struggle with the idea that Duthie will ever leave TSN.
I think Bukauskas. Unless he wants to become the next Scott Oak.
He's got options, yeah.
I think he'd be more the Scott Oak replacement as opposed to...
He's fantastic.
He might honestly be the number one guy to a degree right now.
I think he is.
Ringside guy.
Yeah, he's great. Okay, I missed the Prime broadcast, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I did see comments from people being like, what is going on with this broadcast? And I will tell you all this, that everybody on that broadcast is like a very experienced broadcaster. The only one that is just getting into it is Blake Bolden. Blake just retired a few years ago. She played pro hockey. She works with the Kings in hockey development and as a scout, I believe. And she's just getting her reps in. But like everybody else that they use, Johnny Forsland
is top
long-time broadcaster in the end, one of the best.
Kraken now?
Kraken now, but they use him on
Hurricanes.
TNT. They use him on Prime. Yesterday was Shane Knighty, excellent broadcaster with the Vegas Knights Golden Knights broadcast.
Used to be Jets.
Winnipeg, yep. Andy Petrillo is tremendous.
Yeah,
She's
she was
fantastic.
down there doing the... Yeah.
And then Adnan Verk is great, obviously, as well. And then they have Thomas Hickey, who is, for a guy that's just getting into it and just retired from hockey, very polished, very professional. So they, on Prime, have hired, and they spare no expense. I was talking to Johnny Forsland about this. He's like, they have all the resources behind them. They're on the same level as a TNT or an ESPN. So there's no reason
but
for
why
this.
is there must be a directive then to say, hey, let's before you do something, let's explain to people what
Which
it
would be
is.
interesting that the directive would be there. Like it might be, like I'm at the game, so I don't see all that.
Yeah.
But that is something then. I'd understand it if this was Prime across both countries.
Yes.
Where there's an American audience, that
yes.
it's like, but you're in Canada.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
I know there's some there will be some people that might be watching a hockey game for the first time. It's very small.
Yes.
That is extremely small.
Yeah, you're not
the majority
selling the
of
game
people
to
do not
anybody.
need to understand what's going on. They have the idea of what's going
Absolutely.
on. But maybe because I'm trying to think about like 90s now though with Vegas, Forsland's in Seattle.
So that kind of comes out of the
he's a Canadian, but works in the States. Maybe that's just how they do the
used
season.
to talking to an American market.
And they're struggling just to try to connect to a Canadian audience that is a lot more understanding of the game.
That's a good
they're
point.
used to, there's somebody new watching this game in America, and we've got to explain this game to them.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Maybe
a good
that's
point.
what it is. It's like the same, like, I love watching the TSN broadcast every so often. It's like that CBS game. Or like Rod Black used to love doing it. For our American friends down south.
Oh my God.
And he'd explain various things to us.
Like they
But
Thank you, Rod.
But
I
we
forgot
get it
about
too.
that.
I wonder if they're just so used to the idea that throughout the whole regular season, this is what icing is.
That's a good way of putting it. And
then
to
they
flip a
come up
switch
here
to
and
just
it's hard to flip that
talk
switch.
casually and
the majority of this audience understands this and they don't need that explanation.
Yeah. But I find it
Or the Kemper one might be also.
like people were calling.
I maybe that's they're not close enough to this series to know that. Okay, well, no, Kemper's leaving. That's a weird one.
It was very baffling, and you could see it coming from a mouth. You're like, why haven't they? Why is he still in the game? Like the people online are like, hey, and then they do it, and it's almost like they didn't know even that it would have been an option. Why would you pull him? He's pitching a shutout here. Well, yeah, I mean,
he's got
okay.
5 on the air. He doesn't really
cool.
need this one.
Exactly.
Blow his knee because someone takes a run at him. Dave in Section T, this is something I was actually thinking about too when we were trying to figure out like why that approach to the broadcast, like the Hockey 101 type of thing. Dave in Section T said, Tommy, who's producing the broadcast? And that's a good point because maybe that's where it's coming from is like the producers want to kind of go in that direction and be like, hey, let's explain this. And the broadcast crew's like, okay, whatever. You guys are paying me a lot of money to do this. I'll explain it. I didn't recognize the producers. They were around, but I didn't know them because you always see there's like a handful from like the Sportsnet guys. We were out for a beer with Paul, who did the game on what was it, Friday night?
Yeah.
The Sharks one, yeah. And then he had to fly back to Toronto. There's Scott Crothers, Butter, Eddie, Chris Edwards does a lot of Leafs games and sends stuff during the regular season. Then he goes over to CFL and TSN. Larry Isaac, who's been around forever. So there's a bunch of them that you just see all the time. And the ones and even like the ESPN and TNT ones, you kind of recognize them. Oh yeah, that's so-and-so and so-and-so. But the Prime ones, I haven't identified. I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but they've been around like 3 or 4 times this year. And I just know their crews, and their crews change up a little bit too, but not necessarily the producer. And that's where it might be coming from. So Dave, that's a valid question. I was wondering it too. Because that's someone who kind of sets the tone and the messaging.
But then knowing the audience, we hear that so much too in broadcasting. And so even if that is the case, you would think that they'd be like, okay, this is to a Canadian audience. We should maybe,
But I have a question about that too. It's Amazon Prime Canada broadcast, right?
Yeah.
And it's essentially American broadcasters. Some of them are Canadian.
Yeah.
But they're American broadcasters now.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that? Is that like looking and identifying the Canadian hockey talent pool broadcast wise and going, not good enough?
I think I don't think it's that. I think it's let's bring more voices to the game here.
Good point.
Why? Like if you use the Sportsnet people,
well, then what's
why
the point?
Are you different from Sportsnet?
That's true.
If you use the TSN people, then it's also a case of like, well, now for those outside of the TSN regional markets, which is Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Winnipeg, them like Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, we get new voices a little bit. But for the other part of the country, it's the same voices to them. So it's not different.
Right.
Here it's, okay, now if we talk about the Canadian, there's just more for us to hear from. And it's probably a lot easier to just grab someone that's already calling NHL than trying to pluck someone that's not, doing regular NHL games and throwing them on just for once a week or something like that. Like that John Forsland, it's okay, well, we're going to grab you once a week, but you're already calling NHL, you're around the league, you're doing this stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's just, we're different. That's what Amazon's trying to say. We're bringing you different people, different voices, something new, as opposed to, well, here's Chris Cuthbert.
Yeah.
And Craig Simpson.
That's fair.
Here's this, these guys that you've all heard and seen before. I think it's, just a straight up, we're giving you different
They're trying.
voices. Yes.
Yeah.
Like they had Louis Jean on the Montreal broadcast before, and I hadn't, I know he's
I haven't heard of Louis Jean in a long time.
TVA, whatever they call him. He's great. He's excellent. He was with Sportsnet for a long time. And I saw him on there, and I'm like, that's a good one. But Andy hadn't done hockey in a while. She was doing a lot of mostly soccer. She would do
she does soccer on One Soccer, CBC and she does a lot on CBC.
Yeah.
So she's there she'll obviously Olympics, but she would do Vanier Cup, and she would do the random little things
CBC
that are in the
Sports
studios. Not fully, I don't know.
Ontario U17 bronze medal games.
Some sort of thing happening on CBC, and she would be doing the panel.
Yeah.
Right.
So she's all over the place. So I don't know about the hockey as much.
She's really good, actually.
And Adam Verk. Has Verk been doing anything with NHL Network?
He was. I was on with him a couple years ago.
So.
Yeah.
It was because he was the score.
Mm-hmm.
Did he go to TSN or Sportsnet, or did he go from score to the
ESPN?
States?
ESPN,
It was the score to ESPN.
Yeah.
And then he got let go there because he worked his way up, and I forgot why he got let go there.
Yeah, he was a big
And then he got on
shooting
to,
star on that team.
Didn't he go to WWE and last
Did
only
he
like
really?
a week? Or was he the one that went to WWE for a very short
You
period of time?
might be right.
There's a lot of the former headline sports score guys that have like really like even the guys that were into the MMA, like that Cam Stewart and Mauro Ronaldo, like those guys are big in the combat sports scene, aren't they?
Nabil Kareem's still going too.
Nabil Kareem's a great broadcaster.
I know, but I just like it's great. He was on an NBA broadcast I was watching recently.
Yeah, he was awesome. That was a guy that you could tell was going somewhere.
So Adnan was on the Score and was an associate producer at TSN. Then he went to ESPN. He was let go there following an investigation regarding leaks of ESPN information to the media. The two sides later agreed not to pursue litigation against each other because I think there was a lot of question marks around that, and it seemed like he was being called out for things maybe others do or something like that. He then DAZN, MLB, NHL Network. In 2021, he was hired by WWE to be the new play-by-play voice for Monday Night Raw. However, after a negative reaction from fans 6 weeks later, he and the company parted ways.
Man, getting like the Raw play-by-play,
Yeah.
like just even getting a sniff of that, or like to be.
Jack Michaels tried out for that. Yeah, he had a.
Oh, he'd be great at that.
audition.
Yeah, he could be a wrestling. Yeah.
Although his voice might not last the full 52 weeks of Monday Night Raw. I don't
Regular
think.
Joey Styles.
No, it's Adnan Virk's a good broadcaster.
Yeah, he's
Well,
awesome.
that's going to be the big question for Rogers. Is they have, I think, 2 more years left of the current deal before the new one kicks in, or is it 1 more year?
One.
I think it was 25, 26, I think then. Yeah, so 1 more year after this year. Ron McLean will finish that next year. Then it's the question of when do they transition to the next person and who is that next person?
You know what? I think David Amber is a very, very strong anchor. I think he would be great.
It's not so much that you have to do, it's just don't be, like you just have to facilitate in that role, really.
Sure,
like you don't be annoying, don't just straight down the fairway, right? Like
old man golf.
You don't need to do too much. And I think with Ron too now, with all the,
But he's been doing it so long that I think
it's grown stale, and
I think he's jazzing it up for himself.
But that's what I'm saying. Now you're trying.
He's so used to
you're
that
trying
broadcast,
too much, too hard, and it's.
It was great for a period of time. It was wonderful hearing it. But now it's, he's become the character of himself almost.
Yeah.
He's a great broadcaster, but
But also just be great to have the new voice, right? The
Strombo.
change or
Give
something.
it Strombo.
that didn't work. I like
A brave play.
that was.
I understood the reasoning there. He was at the top of his game.
There's just at times in Canada and broadcast, there's just not a lot to choose from because they've killed all the jobs.
Yeah, it's not a.
It's so sad.
It's their own problem with all of that. So
Maybe they do like within like somebody from accounting applies. I'll do it. Like they
I can do it, yeah.
interrupt on the big bulletin board. Oh, look at this! They're hiring for the thing. Yeah, I'll throw my hat in the ring.
I can talk on camera.
Sure. Never done it before, but I'll give it a shot.
It
Oh
can't
yeah,
be
you're
that
hired.
hard.
John from accounting. Here he is.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's new?
John Peters or something.
Portions of this, well, not portions of this hour. It's the official drink of the EST Hangout. It is the Finnish long drink legend of
mind if I do.
1952. A drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment or liquor. Longdrink.com/Canada is where you can enter, post the code, and find a liquor store and establishment nearest you with the long drink in stock. It is available at Rogers Place too. Dusty saying he had a tall boy. Of
Him
long
and
drink.
Bunting.
Him and Bunting.
Yeah, they did the whole arm
did they
around.
do
and
that?
That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm a little jealous of Dusty.
It sounded like
Spending
a lovely
time
night.
with
I'm jealous of
Bunting is
Bunting.
amazing. You get 3 hours with
Yeah,
Dusty.
it's business though. We never like actually go out as
Friends.
I told him this morning.
You just wanted the
I've
two
always
of you
wanted
go.
to further our relationship, but it's never gotten off the ice there or off the studio.
Did he make any promises to you this morning?
He laughed.
Oh, he didn't even be like,
That was
hey,
about
we
it.
should try something.
And then we went on to a different topic.
Oh, okay. So,
Awkward.
Yeah, it's kind of but
Are you okay?
no, I'm fine now.
we only got a few more minutes of Eric here.
Oh,
Then we're gonna make us
Imagine
forget.
third wheeling though that Bunting Nielsen date.
You do whatever you want.
Like just to
watch it.
just to be sitting in between the two or something like that. Like I just wouldn't say a damn word.
I have to ask.
Just observe. Just
you don't have to buy around. Well, you could offer, but
I'd offer under my breath.
you guys want one?
Before Brendan the Intern comes in and we make a switch, and then we'll get back to more hockey and that type of stuff. Hopefully, I don't, no offense, need you on the Hangout tomorrow.
No.
I just need to get thoughts quickly. Last day of quarterfinals, Champions League action, or last 2 days.
Whoa.
Who do you think's the favorite to win this? Aston PSG with PSG up 3-1. Barca's 4-0 aggregate lead over Dortmund, so they're probably through. Arsenal 3-0 lead over Real, and Inter 2-1 over Bayern.
Inter are sneaky strong, but that's ties still up in the air. PSG are
Over Barca.
they're the stuff. Barca, I don't know.
I
they're
feel like
good.
Barca is the cool bet's favorite to win.
Fair enough, and it's Barcelona. Dortmund's not really. I don't know how they always get to these points in these tournaments, but I think Barcelona got an easy draw there. Real Madrid, if they could overturn this at home, which I'll never count them out to do,
That's true.
you would have to put them as the puncher's favorite after
This
that.
would set them off to go win. It all.
I if Arsenal even get past them, I could see as that being like a high water point for them. And then
they stubbed their toe more.
They
than a lot
exactly,
more people. Like even
exactly.
now, Liverpool, you're on your pace to win your second Premier League in the last number of years.
Mm-hmm.
You've won a Champions League over the last. When was the Champions League?
Oh, I don't know.
Was that
COVID
19?
screwed up
Or was
my
it
whole
COVID?
timeline there. It was before.
So 19, maybe.
Yeah,
Let's say.
I think it was 19. Yeah.
So now, like for the longest time, it was them. They couldn't win titles. United can't win Premier League, but they've won a couple cups. Arsenal's not won anything.
No,
They've
no.
stubbed their toe more than like they are the new. They'll get
Always
close,
the
they stub.
bridesmaid, yeah.
I could see Arsenal getting to a final but losing.
Yeah, and I could see them again beating Real Madrid and then having that as the big psychological win, and then
Dropping it in the semis.
yeah, losing to Inter. I don't know who draws next, but I would say either Barcelona or PSG are the strong ones.
Redbeard, nasty chat. Loving Inter. They're really good.
Yeah, nobody talks about Italian football anymore, really, but
They were in the finals last year.
I know, yeah, and they had a real good preliminary round as well, which maybe I guess doesn't really mean much given the
And their manager's
tabletoppers are
amazing.
out. Yeah, no, Inzaghi, hey, is that who it is?
Because he came over from Lazio, and he was doing some good things at Lazio.
Inzaghi, I remember Inzaghi.
Pippo Inzaghi, yeah, he was
And
a
then
poacher.
He went and he won the league with them 2 years ago. He's done some good things there, so I wouldn't count them out. They had actually nice numbers on Coolback.
They're all good except Dortmund, really. They're kind of the ones that don't really belong in that
Well,
mix.
do you think
but
Aston
it's-
could come back down 3-1?
Oh yeah, Aston Villa. No.
Yeah.
I think PSG are really good too. Young, fat. Like they're not the star-studded Neymar type of. We'll just buy. They've actually had a lot of good youth development, French nationals, that sort of thing. Who's their manager there? The Spaniard. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah.
Because he was at PSG and
Yeah.
he's been at Arsenal.
Luis Enrique. Is
At
the
Aston? Or
no at PSG.
Oh, PSG.
Yeah,
Yeah, Luis Enrique.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
thinking you're talking Aston there for a second.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's got them good.
Yeah.
Like they have a belief. So the
And
PSG,
they've gone away from the stars.
well, they've gone away
and
from
they're
the
building a
high
team.
money model, and so yeah, they're the goods. PSG or Barcelona. With Inter, I understand too.
I hate this, and if you don't want to answer this too, I understand. What's a magic number for Liverpool to win it all? You know?
They need
How many more left?
6 points. So if they win
Total?
at Leicester Sunday, yeah, and then they get Tottenham at home, Chelsea would have to give them a guard of honor in that third game. Yeah.
That's something actually really cool. Does Guard of Honor happen for the rest of the season?
What
or is
the
it just
hell
the next
is
game?
Guard of
I'll explain
Honor?
it right away. But does it happen the rest of the season, or is it just the next game?
Just the next game after you're crowned, like after you mathematically lock it up, the next game, whether it's home or away, depending, it was setting up Liverpool host Arsenal. And if we would have gotten some points earlier, they would have been giving us a guard of honor at Anfield, which would have been
because to win your league title, it's not playoffs. It's the Winnipeg Jets on Sunday became the President's Trophy champions.
Right,
In the NHL.
yeah.
That would have meant the next Winnipeg Jets game that they played.
the opposition.
Would have lined up as the Jets came out
and applaud them.
and have
it is so
applaud
grind.
them
Like it is.
as a guard of honor of you are the champs of the season. We're going to finish out
hate
this
that.
season, but we're giving you a guard of
Liverpool
honor.
lost a tight
And-
one the other year to Man City. They were neck and neck for tops, and Man City locked it up. Liverpool had to give them the guard of honor. It's set up that they were playing them, and they had to give them. So you're applauding that these guys that just
They beat
nipped you
you.
to
The only time a guard of honor will not happen is if you win on the last game of the season.
Yeah. But it is
beyond
so
that, if it's done,
it is so
the other-
grimy and greasy.
The other
like it
players
is
have
just,
to stand there and give
clap
you a
as you walk out,
congratulations.
and you
Like,
just walk out. Your
you've
chest.
won it.
It's great.
So yeah,
Screw you.
the Winnipeg Jets. I don't know when their last game was. I don't think they played yesterday. So do the Jets play tonight? The Jets do not play tonight. That I see quickly. The Jets play tomorrow against the Ducks. So the Ducks would have to go and
that's okay.
welcome
The
the
Ducks
Jets
said no,
to come
yeah.
out. It wouldn't matter. But you'd
But if it
have
was
to
like
be
the
that
Stars,
team.
if they're playing the Stars, that hurts.
What
I
if-
think that's smart?
Hypothetically, there was this guard of honor BS in the NHL, and the Jets were playing the Ducks, and instead of like stick taps or claps, it would just be quack, quack, quack. quack. That's how stupid
Each
I
team
think
gets
the
to
guard
do
of
their own
honor-
thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Eric, thank you once again.
Hey, thank
Can I
you.
answer?
Thanks for having me.
There's a
Yeah, go
text
for
that
it.
came in for him. Or Martin texted and said, the song "It Must Have Been Love, But It's Over Now" played in LTE's head when Dusty blew him off about hanging out after work. That's from Martin.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that song in particular or some 90s country song in which we don't do the Achy Breaky podcast anymore, which also breaks my heart, but just leave it at that.
Dudley also chimes in with, we could go on a dude date, LTE, a little craft brewery, maybe a long walk in the River Valley. I'll bring my backpack, you bring yours, and we'll pick rocks together. LOL.
I actually went down to my deposit yesterday, LT in the valley, picked up 4 more rocks for the bed. It's
will
getting
say-
completed this spring, summer.
Nice.
It has to.
You've been a busy boy.
Yeah. And Redbeard, I still have a date with you on Happy Beer Street. We're going to go down and hit up all the...
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Damon
Him and
Bunting
I
too.
might have a date coming up, depending on what happens on Thursday. If United wins,
yeah.
and I don't know. Did the
Can
Rangers?
I come to...
Yeah.
I'd love to join you on that.
Well, and I don't know if it will
There'll be
happen.
2 of them against each other, and I'll just be there laughing the
There'll
whole
be-
time. That'd be
Third wheel.
nothing to lose.
Well, yeah, I don't know what's happening in
love
the
this.
Europa League. Where our top soccer? Let's go there.
Bodo Glimt, hey, won the first leg. You're a big Bodo Glimt guy, aren't you?
I guess so.
So they are tied. Rangers going on the road.
Yes.
United tied. They're going
Home. Yeah.
Winners will meet.
I love
So
it.
we might have a semifinal back to home and home between Redbeard and I.
I would wish
and,
you luck, but I wouldn't mean it. But I do hope that does happen so
Yeah.
that I can come and...
Redbeard. Yeah, we do. Come on, the Gers.
The
Gers
All right.
draw into the second leg. Yeah. So thank you.
You're looking great. You're both looking great.
Thank you.
I-
Likewise.
thank
go-
you.
go
Thank
eat
you,
some
sir. There's
smoked
Lieutenant
oyster.
Eric,
Yeah,
Matt
I'm
Iwanyk,
hungry.
Tom Gazzola with here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. This is the EST Angle presented by Sentinel Storage, live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and thank you to everyone listening to on podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for those, allowing us to just have 10 minutes of soccer, footy talk. We should do a podcast maybe one day. Maybe one day, both you and I will be a little less busy and we could just do a soccer podcast. We can replace the achy breaky. We'll fill your achy breaky hole with some soccer podcast. Brendan the Intern now with us here. Brendan, how are you today?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
I'm great. How are the Braves?
Ah,
haven't even
smoked
looked.
the Jays.
That's right.
They certainly
Did you guys
did.
see the broadcaster? He got the number during the game.
Yeah, what was that all about? They kept going to it.
And he even winked at the camera at one point while he was talking to the girl.
I missed that completely.
The Braves broadcast had one of their reporters at one of the lounges in Toronto, and there was these 2 girls, so we started talking to them. And then the broadcaster was like, "You should win. When are you going to ask them for the number?" And then he's like, "Yeah, they said I should get your number." And then the girl took his phone and started giving him the number and stuff. And it was just like this whole pickup
oh, the one day
while on air.
I was gonna say, I watched the Jays broadcast, so that was the wrong day to do that. Apparently,
Yeah, no.
Oh, wait, here we go.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, she's a cutie. They're both like good-looking girls.
And he just got at their number.
Yeah.
oh,
And he's like, this is a good idea. Maybe now moving forward, just going like with the mic during the broadcast, like, hey, I'll put you on TV. Can I get your number?
Yeah,
type
no
thing,
kidding.
you know? So
and talk about I'm in town for 2 days and see you never kind of thing. Well,
Yeah.
that worked out well.
Yeah.
it's like, also,
Have you ever been to the Ritz-Carlton?
flip like that takes, you're doing that on regional television.
Could you imagine getting shut down?
Well, there's the regional television, like could have been like can I get your number? Like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know, like
oh,
Okay.
that would have been bad.
I'm watching this now. I'm
hurl
invested.
myself off of this balcony.
These girls look like they were at work, and then they're like, let's go to the baseball game after work.
They only go to one game a year in that spot, they said on the broadcast.
And they're making the most
on.
of it.
that's what the girl said. They said, he's like, hey, do you guys come up to this spot lots? And they're like, oh, we come once a year, maybe to like that area at the very least.
Wiley Ballard is the guy's name. Good for him, man.
I would say that somebody's one up Tommy in a sense.
Yeah.
Can you say you've done that?
No,
Exactly.
I have not.
I'm going to go through some. I just saw this from NHL. It's the clinching scenarios for tonight. The Montreal Canadiens, Les Canadiens, they can clinch a playoff berth with any result in the Blue Jackets Flyers game other than a Blue Jackets regulation win. Why didn't they just write that as long as the Blue Jackets?
Yeah,
That's okay. But okay, so as long as if the Blue Jackets win a regulation, we go to the next day. But if the Blue Jackets lose in overtime or win in overtime, if the Blue Jackets drop a point tonight,
Exactly.
any point, Le Canadien will qualify. The Minnesota Wild will clinch a playoff spot if they get at least 1 point versus the Ducks, or if the Blues lose to Utah in any fashion, or if the Flames lose to the Golden Knights in any fashion. The St. Louis Blues will clinch a playoff spot if they defeat Utah in regulation, or if they get 1 point and the Flames lose in any fashion. They capitalized and underlined it. So the NHL really wanted to point out the and.
Yeah, there it is. See the capitalization and the underline?
If they win in overtime or shootout, and either, in just bold, of the following occurs. Any result in Flames Golden Knights game other than a Flames regulation win, or the Wild lose to the Ducks in regulation, or if the Flames lose to the Golden Knights in regulation. So there's
Really
4
hitting
different
those.
ways with multiple things in them that allow the Blues to clinch a playoff
You
spot.
really hit those oars and
Wow, they
ands.
wanted me to. They wanted
did.
me to.
That's why they emphasized them.
Actually, I'll have
Very
to
good.
go into one thing I saw last night. The Maple Leafs will clinch the Atlantic Division title, which we're all hoping for, if they can get at least 1 point versus the Sabres, or if the Lightning lose to the Panthers in any fashion. The reason I said, like, do you remember when the Red Blacks were the Red Blacks? You know,
Yeah.
all caps, and they specifically were like, it's got to be yelled with Red Blacks. I was just looking at the MLS standings yesterday because Vancouver's having an incredible season, and I came across St. Louis, and for some reason, they're St. Louis City Soccer Club. Like, City is all caps.
Why
for
are
some
you
reason.
yelling?
Because they're telling me I have to yell it all because it's all caps. Why is City all caps?
I think the Red Blacks are still the Red Blacks, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think anyone follows that though.
No, they should not. It's stupid.
Yeah, their website is all Red Blacks, but like Wikipedia has it lowercase. But yeah, it's all Red Blacks.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, so it's St. Louis City Soccer Club. I didn't understand. I don't know why City's all caps. It just really confused me
We
yesterday.
do
And I
some
didn't feel like
stupid
reading all
things
that.
in pro sports, don't we?
Yeah,
We really do.
we overthink things.
And I was actually I was reading 3 Down Nation on the Gino Lewis, Ed Hervey stuff, and they had Gino like a cool like promo shot of Gino Lewis in his new Red Black stuff. And I looked at the jerseys. I'm like, this team is the Red Blacks, but they're not red black. And it literally says on the jersey, it says Red Blacks in like yellow and then, or not yellow, pardon me, white then red. And I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. I don't mind the name, but like there was such a minimal amount of red on the uniform, mostly black. So I guess they should be Red Blacks.
Red Blacks.
Where
I mean,
does
if
the name
you-
come from? Because it's an
Okay.
old name, right? Like,
I remember they were trying to figure out their name. They're talking about like being called the Highlanders, which was a World War I regiment that was out of Ottawa, and then they wanted to tie into the lumber trade of yesteryear, and so
the plaid jacket.
the plaid, yeah. So that's where the Red Blacks, and I actually don't mind the name. It's just like,
But they specified like it's all caps.
yeah, it's very silly. Like
It's
the
a-
saw on the R is nice, whatever.
It's like when
Makes
Ice
sense.
District opened, the Oilers put in the press release like it's not the Ice District. It's just Ice District. You're not supposed to say the Ice District.
Yeah.
Like let's go to the Ice District. It's let's go to Ice District.
Yeah,
They're
that
very
was in
specific.
the press
And
release.
Ottawa did the same thing, like red, like it's all caps.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, this, like, you're expecting like newspaper writers and like columnists to like just have red blacks all in caps. And
Yeah.
for a while they did.
Yeah.
But now everyone's like reverted to like, screw that,
yeah,
while the
it's
red
dumb.
blacks still have it. A couple
style
things.
guy.
Matt Hyman going, the win in regulation matters for tiebreaker. No, we don't have an issue with the win in regulation. It's just how that sentence was written. I think it could have been done like, if they drop a point, they could have been read in just a better way than that. The reason I was also laughing a little bit here, nominees for the King Clancy
Yes,
Memorial
thank you.
Trophy were just announced,
How about
which
that?
is presented, quote, to the player who best exemplifies leadership qualities on and off the ice and has made a notable humanitarian contribution to his community. Darnell Nurse from your Edmonton Oilers is the Oilers nominee.
And he'll also receive a hearing tonight from the NHL's discipline department.
That's the funny part of this
Yeah.
all. It's just how those two things just tie together.
He's a good guy.
Does great things in the community,
That
which
was
is
really
true.
stupid what he did yesterday.
Not really definition of the full leadership that you need.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Do you think he should get? I don't know if you think he will. I'm going to go with, do you think he should get a game? Or any sort of suspension?
Yeah, like it was. I don't think it was the most vicious thing I've ever seen in my entire life, but it was maybe one of the most unnecessary things, right? Like,
Yeah.
you don't need to. He took a pause. If it was all one motion, well, maybe you're just falling and bracing yourself, and his head happened to be in the way.
Whoops.
But yeah, like you took a pause, checked, and then continued driving his nose into the ice.
Yeah.
Probably didn't need to do that. So,
That's a very nice way of describing that.
Oh,
yeah, thanks.
I got some thoughts from Darren Dreger on this.
Dregs.
Not to me personally. It was on Twitter.
Oh.
I could have made it like Darren Dreger text.
Text you too?
Don't expect Nurse news anytime soon today due to Oilers' travel schedule. The hearing isn't being held until later tonight. Which also the Bronco Nick brought up a point of like, well, Darnell might not fly, but I guess
He
could
has
do
to
that.
because they are staying.
oh, they're just going to go.
They're
and
not
stay?
coming back after the game. They're going
Oh,
right
that's
to LA.
smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dreger continues. I'd be surprised if more than one game. Fine is also possible. Bit of a message before the two teams meet again in round one. I don't think there's really a message at all if he gets one game.
Well,
personally?
Do you guys think he gets two?
No,
Does he-
I don't think so.
I don't think it's deserving of that.
There's a difference of whether it's deserving or whether they'll do it.
The
If I
NHL's
was
a wild card, that's for sure.
That's the other part to it. If I'm George Peros, okay, I'm going to try to be George Peros, get in his brain. So I'm going to defend
Good luck.
with the NHL 2 game type thing here.
I'd
I
like
could
to
sit-
see you with the George Peros mustache, real quick. Actually,
It would be formidable.
No, thank you. I could see, okay, he's been suspended before.
Yeah.
So you could argue repeat offender.
Yeah.
And you could sit there and go, okay, you want to know something? He might sit anyways this game. They might be able to sit there and be like, this is no suspension. Like, if we are going to give a suspension, this is a meaningless game. This isn't the suspension. The suspension would be the next game.
But it would be on his record. It would be next time he does something stupid and potentially gets suspended. It would be
But he's done that. So he's already in that repeat offender
now it'll be
category.
even more severe.
Right.
So I think like even if the ramifications of a 1-game suspension in this scenario aren't that substantial,
it'll be
the
next
fact
one.
that it's on his record when he takes his next one, because he has a penchant every couple of years for getting suspended, it'll be that much more severe. So it is still something, not as pain inflicting as it could be.
But that's like if I'm trying to get in George Peros' mind, maybe he's also sending a message to this series. He sees what happens, he knows the history, and he's going, we're watching this series.
Stay out of it, George. I'm
Darnell,
just kidding.
1 game, and we're watching this series.
Of course, they're watching this series.
But that's maybe the message, like if they are trying to send, like Drager's saying, they're trying to, like this would be a message sent. I don't think this is a message to the series. I think everyone just is like the Oilers, okay, cool, whatever. Darnell, okay, whatever. I'm resting up for the playoffs. The Kings going, well, he didn't get any sort of penalty for this. That's where I could see the NHL, if there is a second game, that will be the defense of the NHL in my mind.
I get it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen. He gets the one. $5,000 fine or the 1 game. Don't do that again. Darnell will say, yes, I'm a King Clancy nominee. I won't do it again until he does it again.
I like that actually. Yeah. Nominee,
Guys,
dude.
I'm nominated for King Clancy.
I just got nominated today.
I didn't mean to
King
do it.
Clancy. I think this might hurt his chances of winning the King Clancy. Or is there a winner?
Yeah, there's a winner.
Yeah, okay. Then
Ethan Morrow won it for the Oilers. And Kevin Lowe.
I was trying, no, Bill Masterton.
Masterton's a comeback.
Yeah, I wish that didn't have a winner. I think they all should just get it. It's one of those like type of thing. Like, well,
Interesting.
it's
Yeah, you're
like
picking hairs.
You're like, and sometimes it's
Yeah.
like the year like this guy came back from cancer, and
Well,
this
like
guy though,
DeMar Hamlin. Like,
and
Right.
he died.
yeah,
You're gonna give it
That
to
dude
him.
died.
Yeah,
and it's like
but
they're
like
all
there
great stories.
Someone else was deserving as well. That's fair.
where it's like the Walter Payton Award. They all win it. They all get the Walter Payton logo on their.
Oh,
jersey.
I like
They're
that.
one from
Man
each
of the
team.
year, yeah.
The man of the year.
Oh,
and
get to
they
keep it on for the rest of
30
your
yeah,
career.
I knew that. I actually thought that was like a C-3PO, like Star Wars thing for the longest time.
Yep.
Like,
No.
why is Drew Brees wearing a Star Wars on his jersey?
Love
man?
Star Wars.
Big sponsorship from Star Wars. And 30 of the teams get their representative at the Super Bowl. The other two
Yeah.
are in the locker rooms preparing for the game.
I didn't know they all got the patch though.
They would all get the patch.
Oh, it always feels like there's way more
We're
than there should
supposed
be.
to.
Well, it's
I
it's
think.
the guys who win it get the patch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like is there
No,
a
they
main winner?
win it.
Or is
Yeah.
it the one from each team?
No, the guys who win it win it.
So is there just one winner?
Yeah.
But they
I
all
always
get
thought- I
honored
don't know.
then at
Yeah.
the game then. I
Sure,
see how it is.
yeah,
I'd have
but
to
the
look.
man of the
I-
year gets the patch. It's actually
Right.
I really like that one, and I always thought it was like a Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was C3. You thought C3PO
Oh,
because it's gold.
Yeah,
But I always thought, I'm like, why do they have Darth Vader on their jersey? And then it was Walter Payton with the overcoat
yeah.
on the sideline. Great,
yeah.
great. I think it's his statue.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. I think it's
That's
the
what
statue
it
of it
is.
or something.
So
They're
I
all
think it's
honored
cool.
before the Super Bowl, but then
Yeah.
there's the man of the year and they get it.
Yeah.
Just the one though per year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would like I could live with that. Like you continue to give out the Bill Masters, but you give. I would almost give it to all the players, like because again, you are
there are
splitting
some
years, some
guys-
years.
Okay, here
That's true.
I have a
Some
story
years
for you.
there is no ones that should win it from teams.
Right.
But how do you split between like one guy who maybe comes back from a huge injury to get back into the NHL, and one guy who just has a big medical issue and comes back, and it's like, well. How do you not give it to the guy who came back from cancer?
You give it to
you know,
him then.
but the other guy worked really hard to come back too.
That's great. Give
And
him
it's
a pat
just
on the
one
back.
that I think they
a
all.
bag of chips.
I think that's one where there's a lot of stories that are worthy of like
I agree.
I get it.
the 32 winners. Here you go. But I'll let you go tell your story about the one that probably didn't deserve it because there's a few of those. Everywhere.
Well,
I'm gonna go get my water.
I'm
Quick.
talking to Bernstein. I want you to hear this.
I'm listening. I can hear you. The door's open.
Oh my God. He just walks out like that and leaves us alone. This is actually a good story. Thankfully, I got to sit with Dennis Bernstein yesterday. Did you know Dennis Bernstein
I don't-
before he came to the station?
I-
Bernstein's great. He's our
He was
Kings
here?
No, he was on the show yesterday.
I'm
He's
back.
he's our Kings insider because I need Maddie's reaction to this too. Don't break stuff.
It's my mouse that you guys
So-
all mock.
So Pierdo puts Bernstein beside me in the press box yesterday, which was great.
You guys have assigned seating in the press box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
I got upgraded 2 years ago.
Yeah, you did.
Me and Dusty and stuff in TSN, we were like down at the far end, and all of a sudden last year I go and I'm center ice basically.
whoa.
Yeah, you
Nice,
and Reed have
dude.
really good seats.
I don't know how that happened, but somehow now I'm center ice almost, and like
Yeah.
it goes Reed and I, all the scribes, and everyone else. But then there's like Jay Ball and
Jason Penner, Ryan Lim.
Ryan, and then it's the broadcasters. It's
Yeah.
Cam and Jack and Bob.
How about Jack having to rough it in the press box last night instead of his usual spot? He looked
perch.
very, very lost last night in the press box.
And I got up. So yeah, we do have assigned seating.
Anyway, so I'm sitting there with Bernstein, and he's telling me that this is about the Masterton. He goes, he's like, I'm talking to Drew, Doughty, of course, and I'm telling him, Drew, you know, we nominated you as the Masterton nominee for the Kings, and Drew's like, oh, sweet. Which one's that again? Doesn't have a clue. And then
That doesn't surprise me.
and then DB Bernstein was comparing it to last year when Arvidsson was the Kings nominee for the Masterton, and he went and thanked all the writers and said, "Oh, I'm really appreciate that. I'm honored. Thank you so much. You know, that means something to me." And he goes, "Yeah." Drew's like, "Oh yeah, which one's that again?" Is that the comeback thing?
So if he
He's like,
wins and
"Yep."
he says this is very meaningful to me, it's
Total
not
BS.
That's a lie.
I'm not sure I was supposed to tell that story, but I don't care.
The EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. Canada Storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life's transitions. Canadian storage provider by Canadian. Check them out, sentinel.ca. Now the wait for the Oilers playoffs begins.
Can I bring back one more thing? The Red Blacks discussion.
Red
Just talk
Blacks.
about Red Blacks. Actually, it's all caps.
I know.
Yeah, red black.
They still do it all caps, but no one else does.
No,
Even
because it's
Wikipedia
so
changed it
stupid.
to just red blacks.
So stupid.
But
Now, this uniform, the red one with the black,
Yeah.
makes 1,000,000%
Yeah.
sense, right? But that's their third jersey. Actually, they did bring in these ones that look like the old Ottawa Rough Riders,
I like those.
but in all red blacks.
yeah.
But these are sick uniforms.
yeah. But those are black reds.
But those are black reds. Yeah, exactly. And the word red blacks in all capital letters is just in white.
Yeah.
Obviously. Why wouldn't you put red in red?
Red.
Right?
Yep. You'd think.
would
That's
think.
a layup.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then the away jersey is red
Which-
and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. The helmet's black. I don't know. I just find it kind of amusing. And I do really like that the Stamps, who did have black incorporated into their uniform for a lot of years, went to just red and white. And it looks really good. They've differentiated themselves from the Red Blacks,
thank you.
which is nice. I like how you do that.
Well, it's how I'm just being true to the team.
Yeah, you respect the all caps.
They want us. I want to be respectful to their traditions
all
and
11
all that.
years, huh?
All that. Well, the Grey Cup champs.
That's true.
Want to be respectful to. I don't think they've been around for a long time, but the St. Louis City Soccer Club. That's how they want to go about it. That's how I'm going to go about
It
it.
sounds so dumb.
Well, why is it in all caps?
I don't know.
That's the
I
other
didn't
part.
even know it was.
It looks so dumb when you look at it and it says St. Louis normally written, but then City's just all caps. It's just like, why are you
Everyone knows.
telling me City like that? Like,
Everyone knows it's St. Louis and it's a city. Why do you have to say it? City?
I also love how they added soccer club after that.
Yeah.
Like it's Manchester City, like, and I'm sure they have some little something, but it's not Manchester City Soccer Club in their official title. They have to go, okay, we're going to be City plus Soccer Club. We're going to really double down on the
That's-
soccer culture.
Nothing beats the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Oh, that was a great one.
Did you
Yep.
you remember that era?
Oh yeah.
I don't even remember when they dropped of Anaheim. It happened out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was a big deal of them going from Anaheim Angels to be like, well, for
Well,
sponsors, all that, we need to be Los Angeles, but we'll be of Anaheim.
Does
And
not
then-
Los Angeles like mean City of Angels, or is that just the nickname?
I do think it has something to do with that.
I thought so. I don't know if I was getting smoke blown at me or not when I was getting told that, but it was like the angel.
It means the Angels.
Yeah.
So the Angels.
Yes, that's correct. It's a bit redundant. However, they did come into the league as the California Angels. Did you know that?
Which
Makes sense.
checks.
And Anaheim
Right?
Angels. Makes sense.
Anaheim.
Then they were Anaheim Angels.
But now
Angels in
the
outfield.
Angels.
Yeah. The Angels of Anaheim.
Los Angeles. Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, it's weird. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Mighty Ducks of Anaheim.
Do I want to look this up? Big Uke says Los Angeles may mean Angels, but what does San Diego mean?
Uh-oh.
Stop it.
I don't
We all
know.
know it comes from Anchorman. You remember that?
I don't remember that.
It's Wales sensitive area,
Oh.
as Ron Burgundy would put it, would have you know.
Are
I'm
you-
not seeing anything proper right now. I'm not seeing any
You
of that
don't remember
stuff.
that quote?
I don't remember the quote.
Oh,
It's been a long time since I've seen that full movie.
I'll find it.
It was on TV recently. I started watching part of it, but I
Great
didn't finish
movie.
it and stuff.
Great movie. The second one started out good and then ended terribly.
Never seen second one. Proud to say I've never
really
seen
enjoyed the
one.
second one.
You might be the only person I've ever heard say that about
Well,
Anchorman.
I also think that the age gap might be a little bit of a factor in this. Like, I think I saw the second one before I saw the first one.
Oh, okay.
So like,
Yeah, you
don't
did it in
take
the
my
opposite route.
opinion
Yeah.
into consideration whatsoever. But I really did enjoy number 2.
It's one of the reasons why I also feel like I do believe watch a movie, read the book in that order, as opposed to book then movie, if you can. A lot of times I know you read the book and then they make a movie years later and then
Yeah.
you watch it. Because everyone always plays not as good as the book.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
But if you watch the movie first and then you read the book, it's one of those where it's like, well, you'll be like, the movie's great. And then the book will be, oh, this is even better.
Yeah.
It's that you're already coming on a high
Yeah.
and it goes higher as opposed to you came high, but you're dipping a little bit.
Fair enough.
You understand?
Yep.
Do I play it for the audience too?
Sure.
Okay, ready? Here we go. Christina Applegate's fantastic, by the way. It's sad to see. I think she's got MS.
Or is it ALS?
ALS, yeah. Oh, it's awful. Okay.
It's a fact. It's the greatest city in the history of mankind. Discovered by the Germans, 1904. They named it Santiago, which of course in German means a whale's vagina.
No, there's no way that's correct.
I'm sorry, I was trying to impress you. I don't know what it means. I'll be honest, I don't think anyone knows what it means anymore. Scholars maintain that the translation was lost hundreds of years ago.
Doesn't it mean Saint Diego?
No.
Oh, no.
No, that's what it means. Really?
Agree to disagree.
Great movie.
She does have MS.
Yeah.
She did also back in 08. She was diagnosed with breast cancer at the time, so she's gone through quite a bit of health things. Going back, Married with Children.
Yeah.
Goes back to then.
Was it Kelly Bundy?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, she was great. Did you ever see Married with Children?
Don't even know what that is.
Oh,
Sorry,
Ed
guys.
O'Neill, Catherine, is it Kathy Segal?
Katie.
Katie Segal. She was on Futurama.
Yeah.
And
And she was on 8 Simple Rules.
yeah. And the neighbor's name was Marcy Darcy.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the son's name was.
Bud Bundy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Eric just
He was
laughing
just
over
a
there.
mutt.
Bud. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that was a syndicated show for a while too. That I would
Great.
throw on every so often.
There's some great episodes. Al Bundy was a shoe salesman. Yeah. Anyway, Matt,
TV.
good stuff.
Portions of this hour of the EST Hangout, they are brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, thehighproductmarketing.com. I need to re-glue that because it's coming off and it's affecting my flight on those cards. Brendan the Intern, Tom Gazzola and Matt Iwanyk with here on the EST Hangout. Coming up at 11 o'clock, if he wakes up from his nap, we do got Dusty and Huss with the lock shop. We got 2 guys and a goalie. EST Afternoons, myself and Gager. We'll talk Oilers. We got Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic on the show today. I also got Josh Lewenberg to just wrap up the Raptors season. And then at 3 o'clock, we got the Reed Wilkins show with Jay Milne. Tomorrow, you'll have the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre- and post-game shows. We wrap up the Oilers' 82-game regular season. Then the season can actually begin. The season that didn't matter, as I've said, it's over.
Yes,
Finally,
we maintain this.
Thankfully, let's just get to the playoffs.
Oh my goodness, your life is going to be so much better now that the regular season is over.
Yeah, the regular preseason is over.
And it's good. It's going to be an early one tomorrow. We're going to be wrapped up at a very, very respectable time. And by that, I mean, we're probably going to bed at 1:30, maybe 2.
I do like that the Oilers are just staying out there.
They are.
It's
Yeah.
a very smart move on
Yeah.
their part.
Yeah.
There's no point in flying back.
Nope.
Even if you don't start till Sunday, which is the expectation, I think.
That's what they were
Just
saying
get-
yesterday still.
Just hang out there, enjoy the sun, enjoy the weather,
Get settled in.
get settled into the time zone,
Mm-hmm.
and be ready to go. And no distractions at that point. Like it's also you're focusing in on that first game, which again, likely Sunday. I'm still waiting to see the I'm wishing the NBA sends out a schedule. I don't know when the NBA will send out a first round schedule. They've only done first games on Saturday, Sunday, which has the Lakers at home at 5:30 Pacific, 6:30 Edmonton time. So the Kings definitely they play Thursday anyways, but definitely not playing on the Saturday.
Yeah.
The NBA sometimes does, they don't go every second day. They sometimes take 2 days off, even in the first round. So I don't know if the Lakers will go Saturday, Monday, or if the Lakers will go Saturday, Tuesday.
Well, there was talk that the game 2 plan is for Wednesday.
Which then leads me to believe that there's a good chance the Lakers are playing on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because then they play Tuesday. You're not going to go Sunday, Monday. But they also have to deal, because the Oilers, Rogers Place is full on Saturday with Bush. Next
That's
Saturday,
right.
not this Saturday,
Yeah.
the one after. So they have to, if it was Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, they would have to have a break anyways.
Yeah.
So that maybe is where they're also getting their break. So they can go Sunday,
Wow.
Wednesday,
Sunday, Wednesday.
Friday, Sunday, Tuesday,
Yeah.
Thursday, Saturday for a best of 7 series against
Yeah.
the Kings. So they'll have the 2 games off. Actually, I think last year, every series in the first round had a 2-day break at one point.
It's insane. And the Stanley Cup final, we experienced it last year. There were 2 days between every game. That's
For
happening.
travel.
And that's happening again.
Yeah,
That's
but
just
that's
straight up. That's
but
how
not
they're gonna
between
do it.
games 1 and 2 or 3 and 4.
Right.
Yeah, it's the travel and when they
Yeah, yeah,
travel.
Yeah, 2 and 3.
But yeah, in the first round, I think every series last year had a single 2-day, like one, they gave every series like a 2-day break at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Oilers Kings might be an early one.
I like the pace of the playoffs, just like the day to day, because everything is set, right? And it's not as much hustle and bustle. You kind of know, and you get into a bit of a groove. So that's kind of what I like about the playoff pace. Now, those days are long, and there's a lot of work, and there's high energy, and you're tired by the end of it. But and then you get to the rink the next day, and everyone's calm, and the league, when the league takes over in the third round, does a great job as well. Like, it's very, very thorough. I enjoy this time of year and covering games this time of year. I find it to be a little more controlled than the regular season.
I wish we'll get the first 4 games times, and then they don't tell you times for 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
I wish they
TBD.
just told you times, and then if they had to reschedule the time, just announce, we're moving this game up.
Yeah.
But if everything's normal, this is the times that they're going to be, type thing. So, well, those are my nitpicking and all of that. But we're close. It's just nice to get that first schedule and see when everyone's playing. And again, it's like planning it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting ready to go for either a short run or a very long run. I don't think there's an in-between this year.
I want to put a question out to anybody who's watching or listening. Like, what's your game plan for the playoffs, especially after the last, 4 or 5 years of postseason? I know COVID in the first year or two after the Oilers finally returned to the postseason kind of threw a hitch into normal plans. But the last few years here, like, I've had so many people come up to me, or people just like friends and stuff, that are like, oh, that was a lot of fun, but my wallet is hurting and my body is in pain. And, like, I would go to a restaurant at 2:00 to make sure I had a table for an 8:00 game. And I couldn't handle it anymore. And then last year, remember at the end, it was, and we broadcast from our amenities floor because of how crazy Game 7 was. And it was just like, there was no rioting, thank God. Everyone was very subdued. It was like a balloon, had the air let out of it, unfortunately.
Then it got cold too.
It did get cold. I'm just curious, like, are people like ramped up, amped up, super pumped, or is it more like you need to warm up and get it going, and the first round is a little bit more business-like, and then you're going to go all out rounds 2?
I'll let you answer first before I give my take.
Yeah, what's your plan?
I'm kind of boring. Like last year, I just watched at home.
Every
But-
game?
Ended up going out for Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. That was it.
Was it? Where'd you guys go? What'd you do?
Just buddy's place.
Oh.
Yeah,
party?
stopped by. Yeah, there was a decent group.
Good snacks?
Yep. Stopped by Greta quick,
Greta, yeah.
and it was shoulder to shoulder throughout
Yeah.
the entire place.
See, that's
And it was like,
uncomfortable to me.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then buzzed over to buddy's place, but I don't know. Like, you expect him to make a push, a run. Like,
Of
it
course.
almost feels like I don't know. I'm not even really excited for it at this point. It doesn't feel.
Really?
Yeah, like if you don't get through the Kings, what are we doing here? And every expectation from the last 3 years says that you should. I don't necessarily know if the team got better from last year, which, obviously wasn't the plan. But, I don't know. Like, if they lose out, they lose out. It's the way it goes. It's sports. You can go law of averages. You can say the Kings are hot. You can say Kemper banged up, all of these things. But I don't know. Like, until you see the Knights in round 2, or, hopefully you see a Stanley or a conference final.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's really no different to me at this point.
That's interesting, because remember when the Oilers would like just get into the playoffs, play Dallas every year. They played Colorado in the first round that one year. It didn't matter if there was like no realistic expectation of a Stanley Cup. It was just the fact that they were in the playoffs and the city would go wild.
They weren't good enough ever to have those higher expectations. And that's why it
And
was
that's
always
changed.
exciting.
Yeah.
And you knew you might only get 1 or 2 rounds. So enjoy
in a couple
this.
of games. Yeah.
And I think even at the Oilers runs for the first years, it was great back in the playoffs. There was that
Yeah,
excitement.
like 3,
Now there's an
4 years ago.
expectation. I want to see a conference final. I want to see a Stanley Cup final. Last year, like officially, they're listed as sellouts, but there were empty seats in those first few games against the LA Kings.
That's true.
And it was one. There was a lot of reasons that we discussed of why that's happening. Pricing was one of them, but it was also the fatigue of seeing the LA Kings. And then there was the expectation of this year, like this team is going to go for a run.
Yeah.
People are holding on to their money to pay because they know it's expensive. And then tickets have gone up even more this year.
Hell yeah, they have.
And
Jeez.
I will say wages for people and disposable income has not gone up. And in fact, from last year, it's still tight.
Yeah.
I would assume for some.
Yeah.
I was just looking like if you go
Good point.
real tickets plus resell, there's a lot of open seats right now for game 1 of the Oilers, whenever home game 1 is. There's a lot right now.
What are the cheap tickets running you?
As of right now.
If you want cheap ticket,
Are you on Fan First?
No, I'm on Ticketmaster. I'm looking for a legit ticket. One I've got is $300. Trying to see if I can find cheaper. Because that's Sky. I don't want to be in the Sky. $256.75.
Wow.
Oh, here we go. It's a single seat in an aisle. It's literally its only seat in a row. $256.75. So, and then if you're going resale, I've got $276 as some of the lowest per ticket. So that's game 1. And so now that's going to get more and more if they progress and continue. So I have a feeling there's going to be a lot. Like, that's where I'm just, it was more of an expectation the Oilers were just going to push away and do away with the LA Kings.
Yeah.
I don't think there's as much there. A lot of people might be confident the Oilers are going to beat the Kings, but they know this is going to be a tougher series than it was last year. So are people going to go out and spend their money starting early, or are they going to still go, this is a long time, I'm going to hold my money and pick and choose and buy later on?
Right.
I'm fascinated to see how that plays out. Because, I'm told a lot that things are tight, money's tight, all that stuff, but people found a way to spend last year. Do they still have the money to go spend this year? And the prices just went up.
You know what? There were a lot of people that came in from out of town too.
Mm-hmm.
I did notice that.
A lot of people flew to Game 7. That ain't cheap. There's a private, or that was a charter that got filled up, right?
Actually, a friend of mine, Mark, he organized a charter. It was actually $2,000 each to go with accommodations. It was surprisingly not that bad.
Things are expensive. I know cost of living, all that. Told that a lot. People still found the way to spend though. And do they still have the ability to go spend a little bit more? Or is it?
There will always be those people, though. No.
Well, I saw the Coachella. 60% of people that went to Coachella this weekend, they did a go now, pay later payment plan. So they're going to be paying more as time goes on.
Payment plan for a music festival.
Well, but how many are going to do that with Oilers and stuff here? And they're going to start
credit cards
loading up, adding the debt
to
make sure that they go see the Oilers. But I also wonder, is there people that are like, I don't know what this team is like. Is this team going to go on a run this year because of the injuries and all of that? That maybe this is, maybe I hold off now until I see what this team looks like. What does Leon Draisaitl look like right now? What does Zach Hyman look like right now? What does Evander Kane and Trent Frederick? Does this team look like a Stanley Cup contender still? Because if so, then I'll go to games.
You get 2 games on the road at least, right? To feel that out, I guess, before you really have to make that decision.
True.
Bronco Nick, fan first, starts at $225.
See, that's not bad. This text comes in. I want to read it. It's from Josh. It says, a big part of the expectation is the watch party infrastructure cost put forward by OEG. A lot of money invested to be out in round 1. Cost lunchbox needs a deep Oilers run. Or Coast lunchbox, sorry. So Josh has his food truck. Josh over at Birch and Bear. I also was told, I was also told that the Oilers increased the price of watch parties at Rogers Place to $10. And I was like, I'm like, come on, like you guys keep raising the prices on the fans. And I was given the head nod, like, yes, we have been. But in this instance, the rationale, as I was told, so take it how you want to, was because there was people buying up big chunks of those $5 watch party tickets at Rogers, and then they would have so many no-shows, and they couldn't get rid of them, and people wouldn't go. So they wanted to raise the price, make sure people kind of commit to it.
Yeah, if you're paying that extra $5 more, you may be a little more committed to. I bought these tickets, I'm going to go, as opposed to $5, whatever.
Yeah,
throw
exactly.
this away.
Yeah,
I don't know if $10 is going to do that.
I wondered the same thing.
I think
but
20.
20, yeah.
I think that's a number. Once you start and say I'm paying $20.
Yeah, now you got plans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you're saying 10, even 10, it's like, something came up. It's $10.
And I think too, like I know it's a $5 increase, but like I think you want to get the younger fans in there. You want to get people that wouldn't normally go to a game, so you make it that enticing.
But the younger fans are in the pit. They're outside.
but they're drinking.
Which also
I
blows
know.
my mind.
That is would be the most uncomfortable thing.
The inside people, like, that's the family ones you're trying to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Those younger ones you're saying.
That's what I meant. Like
but even
not
the
of legal
kids.
drinking age.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're
For like, say you move it to 20, like for a family now of 4,
$80 just
it's
to get in.
$80 as opposed to 20. Like,
I know.
that stinks.
Exactly.
Well, now it's 40 even.
So they're trying to find the balance, right?
Yeah.
But that's where, it's.
It was people buying the huge blocks and not being able to fill those seats.
If we could just gentlemen agree to not be a scumbag like that, that'd be great.
I have no faith in people.
No.
And I don't think the Oilers do
Well,
either.
just drive home.
Eric.
You know how many inconsiderate people are just like driving around,
Yes.
cutting people off, and I'll just do whatever I want. Like,
They can't negotiate a traffic circle properly.
no.
Eric should be free. Fans should be able to walk in first come, first serve basis. And then Big Uke. Well, that's what the fan pit and fan park are for. And that's exactly it. There is spots that you can go for free.
Yeah.
I'm not going to defend the Oilers completely here because they've got money. But there is a cost still to turning on the lights. There is a cost to turning on the concessions and running the staff. And yeah, you could say they'll make it up with the concession prices and
But
all
it's
that.
also a business.
But it's like how much though? And there is a business to this.
Yeah.
And you can't just go first come, first serve. Yeah, so I think you don't want to have, imagine just the ushers that have to be like, yeah, we're sold out now. And I know that happens at Fan Park and all those, but there might be that family that drove down and be like, well, we just came from Camrose and how dare
It's like,
you? Or
sorry.
all of
Yeah,
that.
how
So-
dare you? But it's like, sorry, you didn't get here.
So
on
now
time.
if you do the ticket, it's just an easier way, at least inside of a building, to police that a little bit more.
Yeah.
A family of 4 isn't planning to come to the Moss Pit.
Right. Yeah.
They're not planning to. I will say this also, and I'm not defending the Oilers in this one, but I saw the one person on Twitter yesterday complaining about the Oiler pricing and be like, this isn't fair to the fans and stuff. And the only thing I'm going to say is capitalism, baby. Like, it's the Oilers see the market's going to pay for this. Here's the thing: if the Oilers go on a run all the way to Stanley Cup Finals, they sell in those tickets. It doesn't matter how much more expensive they are. So if they can go make that money, they're going to go make it. And there's no reason for them to be kind. There's no
they don't
reason
care
for them-
who's getting in there.
No.
You're number 947. You're number 8,019, right? Like,
It's very naive to think that they're going to just give back to their fan base. There's very few that will ever do that. And this organization has never shown that they would do that. Yeah, it'd be nice if they only raised it 5% for the playoffs. And, we're doing this all together, but capitalism. That's basically
business.
how it works. So I could see the people of OEG probably sit there and look at how much money they made last year and went, okay, we can make even more. They're willing to pay how much more? Yeah, let's do that. The way
does happen.
I will throw this out there. If Oilers fans are upset by pricing, the only way for pricing to ever come down or stop going up would be if they stop selling the tickets.
Yep.
If they weren't able to sell all the tickets, the Oilers then would be like, hey, this is the price point people aren't willing to pay. We're going to have to come in a little bit lower. But as long as that price point is a spot people can pay, they're going to keep selling the tickets the way they are. Just how it works.
Cole Harbor Joe said he heard Chris Johnson talk about Oilers Kings starting Saturday. I screen grabbed the schedule for Lakers Timberwolves at 5:30.
That's too quick of a turnaround.
You can't do it.
If it was an 8 o'clock game,
Yeah.
like 7:30 Pacific, 8:30 Mountain, they could play the Kings at 2. They've done that turnaround.
But
you're not turning that around.
Not
like,
that quickly.
If the Lakers play at 5:30 Pacific, shoot around an hour early. You need to have the court ready. You need to have the place cleaned. So the Oiler
chance.
game would have to be earliest, I would say, done by 1 o'clock Pacific time.
It'd have to be like an
So
11
that's
o'clock. Yeah.
But now you also have to add, what if the game goes in overtime?
Mm.
I'd be stunned if there's a game on Saturday for that. I'll have to go look at that, Chris John, see if I can find it. By the way, I just have to throw this out there from the NBA.
But again, last night, really quick, sorry.
No, go for it.
Again, last night, Oilers people were saying Sunday at the game. So.
And it might have been Saturday if the Oilers won. Like, maybe Chris. I don't know when this report from Chris Johnson.
Well, it was on overdrive, so it was 3:00 our time.
Maybe it was a thing that if the Oilers were going to have home ice, they were going to start on Saturday,
which was doable, obviously.
But it just seems like it'd be almost impossible for that time, because also you have to be aware that if the Kings Oilers goes into an overtime, you're not going to be like LeBron Timberwolves. Sorry, we're going to postpone this game. ESPN, this game's being pushed back. Oilers Kings, we're going to triple overtime, baby. Mavericks executives Nico Harrison and Rick Welts, they're holding a roundtable this morning with selected Dallas media members. It's their first session with local reporters since the Luka Doncic trade. So the guy that got rid of Luka has yet to speak to local media. Here's the thing. Camera, audio recording devices not permitted.
What?
Certainly, a lot of people are. It's happening, or happened like an hour ago or something. Tomorrow they have a winner go home playing in Sacramento against the Kings. It's an invite only, no cameras, no recording devices. Chat with the GM of that team. You screwed up when you have to sit there and like, we're going to speak months later to this for the first time. And we're going to select certain people and you can't record it.
That's brilliant.
Chris Johnston. I got to see. Where's Chris Johnston?
Big emphasis on their sarcasm.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, he hasn't tweeted anything about it. So it would have had to been on overdrive.
Yeah.
And again, it seems
Martin
just virtually impossible to a degree.
Yeah. Martin fired up. I'm sorry, boys, but that's BS excuse from the Oilers. Who cares if people don't show up? They paid. Who cares? It's just a sports organization like every organization, nickel and diming fans. To your second point there, Martin, about nickel and diming fans, yes, they do that. Again, like Matty said, it's a business, capitalism, all that stuff. Well, they care. I'm not even trying to defend them. Here's why they care. Is because the person pays $5 to get in that ticket.
They also pay $5 for a large drink and $5 for a popcorn and $5 for M&M and
and all of a sudden $5 becomes $50 and $500 and that's the money they're looking to get. So they want butts in those seats.
And it's an extra $90,000 if they sell 18,000 tickets.
Yeah.
That is true.
Just for a watch party.
Yep.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I'm sorry, but if it's almost like how rabid of a fan base the Oilers fans are, it's hurting yourselves. It's biting you in the behind with this organization because you are so loved. The Moss Pit is full. Fan Park is full. Watch party on away games is full. And so then the Oilers see this and go, oh, so how much more can we get out of this? How much more can we get out of this? How much more we can get out of this? And that is, it's capitalism, but it's also North American sports.
True.
It's not, I'd have to go look at like what Champions League pricing would be or something, but it's like when the Euros happen or something, tickets aren't as expensive when Copa America was happening and stuff. And it's and it's a fear I know that some European English people have, that a lot of Americans are buying English soccer teams because they're like, they're going to Americanize this. And that's going to make things more expensive. And, but it's a very North American thing. And that's not an OEG thing. It's a North American.
Everywhere.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
wait until Fan Park gets developed. They have it's like a $265 million event center that they announced in partnership with the province that will take up that space. It's an indoor-outdoor facility, concerts, events, and wait until there's playoff games happening and that new facility is open, which is going to be attached to Rogers Place. And you think $5 to $10 is bad to get in. Wait until you're paying $50 to get into that watch party with whatever concerts playing there, and then the game.
Which is why I still will always go with my speculation that before Connor and Leon retire as Edmonton Oilers, and I'm going to go that far.
I like this take.
Daryl is going to sell.
I could see it.
Because he doesn't want to deal with life after that. Yeah. People ain't paying these prices. They're not paying these season ticket prices. They're not paying these for 82 or 41 regular season home games. They're not paying these prices.
Yeah.
And so unless certain things change in the world, and that's still a long time away, so who knows? But I just don't like that is, if this is a 10th place team in the West, there's going to be a lot more empty seats. And I don't know if Daryl is going to want to be the guy that has to deal with that. I don't know if he's just won't be like, I made my money, I'm cashing out, because I'm also going to get the $4 billion or whatever it is at that point to sell the Edmonton Oilers. Harrison, no, you wanted to take over. Sorry. How about all these billions of dollars instead?
Yeah, I'll split the billions with you.
I'll buy you a suite at Rogers to go and watch these games. That's where I just will always speculate that.
There's a text about, it's from Ed from Edmonton, says, hey guys, are the proceeds from the watch parties no longer going to the EOCF? That, I don't know.
Did they go to that?
Oh, wait, here. I've got it. I've got the press release here. They go on sale once Stanley Cup playoffs round 1 schedule has been announced. In the meantime, sign up for text alerts. Tickets are $10 and net proceeds benefit EOCF. Net proceeds.
So how does that work? So that's the profit of it.
So
So
they
if
cover
it
their
costs,
costs.
it's $180,000, I'm saying, for 18,000 tickets. If it costs $100,000 to put on the event, 80,000 goes to EOCF type thing.
I
If
think
it's-
so.
So maybe that number was a little too thin of a margin last year. That could be part of this
maybe.
too. As they're
Yeah.
saying all that, but maybe last year they're sitting there going with that 90,000. We were donating 25. We feel like we'd like to give 115.
Math guy.
I'm not a math guy. I do like this photo they used in the press release, though.
Whoa!
105.
You know
Is
that
Eric
guy?
in there?
It's Joaquin Gage.
Oh.
Reppin'.
EST
EST.
hat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
That's a
see.
good, that's a good one. We should use that somehow.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Gage, you're wearing the EST hat to the event.
Yeah.
What a good,
What
what
a-
a good team player there.
And today he's being a good Oilers alumni team player wearing an Oilers alumni quarter zip. What gets me though is like the photo they're using of him is when he just had like a crappy white mask and mixed gear from like the mid 90s. I think his best look was in the early 2000s when he came back to the team
Mm-hmm.
with the mask that's sitting in our studio or our bullpen there. But yeah, look at Gager. He's providing a smile for that
Yeah.
young lady,
Yeah, that's,
signing
well,
a,
what are the odds that
jersey.
she knows who he is?
well, she does now.
She does now.
Yeah.
And probably a big fan at that
Huge
point. But
fan.
like, do you think going up?
No clue. She probably had no idea. I remember Joaquin, his first stint.
And say, I don't remember.
I do.
Too young.
Oh,
I remember
looks
him.
refreshed.
I
That's a
absolutely
Red Bull.
remember him.
Yeah, he's got a Red Bull. He's ready.
Hey,
to
Dusty's
go.
back.
Yeah.
Look at that. He's ready now for Cook County on Thursday.
Huh? He's gonna finish the Grand Slam.
Like, he can't get this close and then just drop the ball.
Is that the last leg?
That's what we're it would be.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has Masters without the family
Yeah.
on Sunday. He did Oiler game with Damon Bunting yesterday.
Yeah.
He's going golfing right after two guys today.
Yep.
And then, so now it's like he loves Cook County. There's no show on Friday.
That's right.
Like,
Yeah, no, it's pretty much written itself.
Yeah.
why you go win the Masters, you go win the PGA, you go win the U.S. Open. And you're I'm going to withdraw from the British Open.
You can't. Can't do that.
That's what it sounds like. He's trying to do.
He won't.
So-
He's gonna do it. He's gonna go to Cook County at 8 p.m. on Thursday night. He's gonna have 2 triple and diets, and then he'll be good to go. He just giggled at that.
Because he knows it would be amazing.
It's happening.
And like, even he could go to Rosie's after.
And he can sing a few songs.
Absolutely.
Then Evan Dom can carry him home.
It's just going to be a lovely time. And then
Yeah.
on Monday, we could all come in and we could give him the guard of honor.
Guard of honor.
We could all stand here early Monday morning. We could all come and
Yeah.
applaud Dusty as he comes in and
I
go,
would
you
be-
did it.
I would do it.
You did it.
I would do it. Count me in. Count me in.
Gager's not happy about something.
That's okay.
I don't know
It'll
what
be
it was.
He's a good boy.
So yeah, Oilers, Sharks tomorrow. That will end their 82-game regular season, and then we'll get set for playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, after tonight, we should have a little bit hope for a closer idea of what's happening.
I think
Hopefully.
so, yeah.
Fingers crossed. We know Dallas is hosting Colorado. We know the Kings are hosting the Oilers. We know the Hurricanes are hosting the Devils. We're waiting for a few others, but hopefully the NHL could start announcing maybe some game ones.
That'd be
at the very
lovely.
least of, hey, this is when things are going to be happening. I'd like to thank Lieutenant Eric and Brendan, back-to-back days, coming in the pinch hitting.
Good job.
As
Thanks.
people go down ill that were supposed to be on the Hangout, so stuff happens, but you too, thank you very much. Tommy, good seeing you.
Yeah,
Looking
always a
thin,
pleasure.
trim, as Penner's Pancakes
Thank you.
did say.
I can't believe you're only having one meal a day.
Pretty much.
All right.
I'm pretty good.
You?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
He's gonna get
It's
lean
been a
and
long
mean
time.
for the summer
No,
too.
I've been doing that for years.
Oh,
I just have one bigger meal. I snack and stuff, but I really just only eat one.
Oh,
he's got some roasted.
Mexico
peppers.
was weird when I went to Mexico. I was eating like 2 meals a day. Very different. But it was like mostly fruit in the morning, which
that was part of the meal.
that was most of my breakfast meal was getting fruit. I need more fruit.
Mix in some sausage.
We've got Lock Shop, 2 guys and a goalie. EST Afternoons, myself, Gager, on the show today, and then Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. That will take you to 6 o'clock tonight. Thanks for tuning in to the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage here on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, EdmontonSports.com. On behalf of Lieutenant Eric, Brendan the Intern, Tom Gazzola, I'm Matt Iwanyk. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, Lock Shop coming up in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today,